Yo, 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 yo. You know what it is. Am I on mute? Am I good? Am I clear? My mic's on. It's your boy RKY. You got Super Duper from the Midwest. What's good, brother?
What's really good? Ron was popping.
Ain't nothing. We missed you on Thursday, bro. We had a lot of breaking events. You know what I'm saying? We covered the Diddy trial on Thursday a little bit. We talked about this new Snoop album. And we talked about this Rayvon and Daylight and Joey situation. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. So we got a good show tonight. We're gonna talk about we're gonna spin the block on that. Talk about Joey a little bit. Once Leroy gets here, we'll talk about Kingmaker and Xzibit. Want to show my man from Memphis, Tennessee, Key Glock. PRE. Paper route guy. Paper route. Entertainment. Key Glock. Dropped Glockaveli. I haven't heard anybody talk about it in the space, but I want to show Key Glock some love. We also want to talk about Snoop. He had a couple interviews with Ebro, Breakfast Club, that whole situation with the president circling back. Get our opinion on that. And then we're gonna talk about this list that's been going viral. The worst rappers, the top 50, was it 40 or 50? It might have been four, it might have been 40. 40 worst rappers. This list has been going viral. A lot of ones I agree with. As if you watch this show enough, you know I agree with some of them on the list. But some of them I don't agree with. We'll get into that, man. But let's start off with I guess, man, let's just start off while we wait for Leroy. What's your thoughts on this Rayvon situation? You wasn't with us on Thursday. You heard the records. What you thinking? What's your thoughts on this Rayvon situation and Joey Badass?
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I love a good battle, man. I mean, I wish everybody would stop calling it a beef, man. We got to get the terms correct so we don't get it twisted and be pushing a false atmosphere out here onto these artists, man. This is just a battle. And we got to respect the bars from Joey Badass. I mean, he rapping like better than ever. Honestly, I could say as far as anything I've heard from him, just lyrically, bar wise, he sound like he on the top of his game right now. He feeling himself real hard. So salute to Joey. Ray Vaughn, I mean, I got to give it to Ray Vaughn too. He the underdog and he want the smoke. Um, he made a nice little cool little bop. It kind of reminds you of Pickaboo or one of them Kendrick songs, but I understand, I get it. It's a West Coast song. I do like the distance that he gave Joey. I like the some of the things that he was talking about. I mean, I think he said a lot of things that's been on a lot of people's mind about Joey Badass. If we really want to be honest, and he just put him in the song and he put him out there. So, if I had to judge it just based on if I was gonna say, if this is round one, and we going song for song. If the battle starts with finals and I forgot what Ray Vaughn's song is called at the moment. But if we going off of that, I'm gonna call it a tie, man. I mean, I'm gonna call it a tie. I think Joey definitely out rapping him, but Ray Vaughn is kind of out dissing him. So what I mean, I love what Joey did with the dog play work and how he tied in the TDE top dog, the dog bar work. I love the way Joey rapping, but I got to give it to Ray Vaughn on the actual disses. So for me right now, I'm gonna say it's a tie, man. Maybe with a slight edge to Joey, but Ray Vaughn holding it down, and he gets the chance to respond to the finals track and come with something, maybe a little bit more original and maybe some more fire on there. But I like it so far. I got to give it
Right.
to these brothers.
Right. Well, speaking of finals, the Eastern Conference Finals is set. The Western Conference Finals is set. If you're looking at this battle as the finals, I think Super. You said you got Ray Vaughn slightly ahead. I got it. Ain't game seven, right? It's like what is it? I think Joey up 2 games to 1 right now. 2 games to one. 2 games to one. If it's a going, if it's a
Well, you
seven
gonna?
game
I mean,
series, 2 games to
so
one.
you counting the freestyle as the start of this because Ray Vaughn been kind of shooting. He been shooting at Joey with a couple of tracks. I mean, I think that Ray Vaughn, if we're gonna start it early, Ray Vaughn might be actually up. You know what I mean, a little
Mm.
bit, and Joey is just now responding. So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's
I mean, like I said, I won't say that Ray Vaughn is up, but I say that in his songs, I want to say he talked a little bit more about he sent more shots at Joey's badass career, his acting, his you know what I mean, his lifestyle. I don't know what that bar about writing ghost writing for his girl, if that's like I don't know if there's any truth to that, but just the
Mm.
whole thing, that everything. If you go break down that song from Ray Vaughn, I mean, he was at Joey head. He was saying a lot. I mean, Joey pretty much was just calling him a little dog and big boying him and saying that he pretty much like, and he a nobody and he out his league. Ray Vaughn kind of came at him a little bit more about his career and how you know him more as an actor than a rapper. I mean, I like both angles. So, like I said, I'm looking at it as more of a tie. I'm looking at it as more of a tie.
All right. I got it. You got it as a tie. You got it 2 games to 2. And it's always hard to kind of pinpoint when these battles and these battles start, right? Because I got the battle starting with the Kendrick and Drake situation. I had it start with first person shooter. You know what I mean? I had that as the first battle. Hold on one second.
Okay, so I can kind
Uh,
of see that.
hold on one second. Hold on one second, Sue. Yeah. So it's always hard to quantify when these battles start. You know what I mean?
I already say it started when Ray Vaughn responded to the too much West Coast D-licking line from Joey Badass. I mean, if I would say that's when it started, and I want to say Ray Vaughn sent maybe 2 tracks at him. So if we're gonna start it there, but I don't want to start it there because that's a little cloudy. We're just gonna go where they've been going directly at each other. So I would start it, me personally, from the finals. The finals is Joey's first track, and what's the name of Ray Vaughn's track? I can't remember the name right now.
I forgot the name of it.
Um,
I'll pull it up. I'll pull it. Let me get the Mad Max super chat real quick. Mad Max with super chat says Ray and Reason records were whack. You lose points copying other guys' flow on disc records. I don't know how you can do that. Okay, Mad Max, that's a good point. Mad Max with super chat
I
says, and West Coast bums can't talk about in New York fall off. Your coast ain't even been better than the East Coast over the last 15 years. So if we fell off, what that say about they coast? Because we got way more hits. Speak to that, man, Max. We got way more hits. And Mad Max with another super chat showing love. What's good, brother? Um, I could respect NY fall off bars from Dot, not these dudes. LOL. Like, how you get these shots off? I respect that. I respect that. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
You
I mean,
think Ray Vaughn
I
ain't a big
do.
dog.
Hey, I respect that. Like, I mean, I agree with Mad Max too, but at the same time, that's kind of like why the shots go so hard. Like with him calling Ice Spice the king of the East Coast. I mean, that's basically like that's kind of downplaying the impact of New York rap right now. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, man. I mean, I like both tracks, man. I think Joey, like I said, I love the way Joey is rapping. If this was a lyrical contest, then yeah, Joey he winning. But these are diss tracks. This is a battle, and I'm liking what I'm hearing from Ray Vaughn as well. So I'm loving Joey too, though. Like I said, the bar work from Joey, the shit that he's saying. I mean, it's I love it. I love it right now. So it's hard to pick and choose. I mean, I've been arguing about this um, all day for the last couple of days, and people thinking I'm crazy because I'm calling it a tie because Joey has been very impressive, but I mean I got to give it to Ray Vaughn as well, man. I think that his diss tracks, his diss track and his bars in the diss and the things that he was saying, it hold a little bit of weight. So
I got you.
shout
I
out to you, bro.
got you. I got you. And I agree with what you're saying. I think let me go before I cook real quick, let me get Mad Max super chat. Mad Max says Pop Coast, the king of the East Coast. Yeah, I mean, Pop Smoke was that guy, man. Again, I said this on this show several times, man. When Pop Smoke got taken from us, that was a big void. I could see it. You know what I'm saying? He had the 50 cosign. He had the Quavo cosign when Quavo was hot. He just had the cosign, and people were feeling Pop Smoke. He had a different type. He did take the kind of like the drill UK sound, you know what I'm saying? But he kind of brought that to the mainstream and kind of, had joints with the ladies, had the smooth melodic joints, you know what I'm saying? He took that sound
You
with Dior, you know what I'm saying? And then he had Shake the Room, you know what I'm saying? He had a whole bunch of joints. He had Christopher Walken. Um, yeah, when
I
he
think the
died, it took him out, you know what I mean?
I think that there's 2 guys that's kind of similar, or another guy that's similar to Pop Smoke in this aspect where New York, when Pop Smoke died, like that wave that he was bringing kind of died with him, and there hasn't been anybody to recapture that since. I would say that one of the other guys that was similar to Pop Smoke in this way would be Max B. I think once Max B, he never got the chance to get his career totally off the ground the way that he should be, or it should have went, due to him going to prison. But it's similar to that with Max B, where it's like what would have happened if Max B would have been out? How would it have, or if it would have transitioned or translated to something else other than what it was at the time? So, shout out to New York rappers, man. Shout out to Max B. Shout out to Pop Smoke. They definitely missed that wave right now. They missing that really right now, to be honest with you.
Right. Another person that was going to start a wave that died too was when Stack Bundles died. What would have happened if Stack Bundles would have, you know what I'm saying? That wave would have continued. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get killed. And then you had Chinks. Chinks with when that French Montana wave, Chinks was kind of picking it up. You know what I'm saying? He had the Diddy cosign, you know what I'm saying? He had songs with Ross, you know what I'm saying, with French. I mean, I like Chinks. I like what Chinks was doing before he got killed. You know what I mean?
I like Chinks drugs as well. He was nice. I like Chinks. I like the whole Coke Boy wave at that time. Another thing too, when it come down to this Joey, to this beef and what they saying about each other. I mean, Joey is like kind of feeling himself. I mean, he is getting his unique on right now in these bars. Like you can tell he got his confidence. He got his confidence up. His confidence is up high. You know what I mean? You can feel it and it's coming out throughout the rap bars. But him coming at the youngin, what's his boy name again? Yeah, him coming at Ray Vaughn at the time. I mean, and pretty much calling him a nobody. I mean, it's legit, but how hard is that really? I mean, like, it's not that surprising that he's a nobody. I mean, he putting his hat in the ring, he jumping out there. So if that's all Joey gonna really have to say about him, I mean, I think it's gonna be the battle is really in the advantage of Ray Vaughn because Joey's been out there a little bit more. He's got more, you know, public things to talk about. I mean, his albums ain't never went gold. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that Ray Vaughn can key in on him because he's more known. So that's an advantage that we really not really looking at when it comes to Ray Vaughn. I mean, another thing too. I mean, I think this is a battle of the styles. So people gonna pick versus East Coast, West Coast, traditional bar work and raps versus West Coast bops and West Coast lingo and how they do that, how each coast do their thing. So it's gonna be a battle that's gonna be picked based in bias. People gonna have their biases and people gonna talk about it in different ways. But New York, man, I mean, this is kind of y'all fault too. I mean, y'all don't embrace Griselda properly. They some Buffalo niggas to y'all. I mean, who was supposed to stand up next to Joey really at this moment? Who's even big enough or have any type of impact that can stand next to him? That's even like really worth talking about, to be honest with you, right now. Like if it was to be, Dave East. I mean, who is it gonna be? Like it's gonna have to be somebody that's gonna have to get this man a hand. I mean, Ransom, somebody got to help him out a little bit. And Reason made a good point. I mean, he Colin Kaepernick right now. He Colin Kaepernick right now, and he's standing on the point. And the shit was started over some bullshit. So it's all love, and I'm glad that this battle is going on. So we'll see how it go, man. Hopefully somebody come out the surprise, man. Joey got a guest star that come out the curtain and jump in the ring with him or something, man. Because I think it's gonna be a uphill battle. It'll be very impressive though if Joey climb that hill and get to Kendrick. I will be impressed if he put all these dudes and if he body everybody and it makes Kendrick have no choice but to come outside. So I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it.
No doubt, no doubt. I was gonna say something about Kendrick, but I don't want to say nothing. I talked to my daughter about the show, and I was gonna say this. A lot of her friends, shout out to SZA. Shout out to SZA. A lot of folks is going they want to see that SZA. You know what I'm saying? SZA is a real important piece of this puzzle. So that's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? What the youngins is telling me is SZA is, they want to go see SZA. But I'm getting off the topic. Mad Max with the super chat says, you know what, Ron? I'm gonna make a playlist of East Coast artist joints, 100 records. Tell someone to make a playlist for the West Coast now because I don't have to prove a point because we've been graded in the West. So Mad Max, when you make this playlist, are you gonna make it from 2020 to now? I mean, are you gonna do historically? How you gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? You saying 100 records over the last 10 years, or you gonna say from all time? How you gonna do this playlist, Mad Max?
That's a good question right there, because if you going off the based on the last 5 years and you not claiming Griselda, I mean, it's gonna be a hard battle, man. That's gonna be hard, bro.
Matt Max Super Chat says only the South can ish on us, and the Midwest can speak to us eye to eye, but the West, they been weak. All right, Mad Max. Mad Max ain't got no love for the West Coast. I see you. You won't be going to LA anytime soon, I guess. Mad Max in Super Chat says only the last 15 years, though. Okay. All right. So 15 years, 100 songs. Max will put 100 songs together from the East Coast. Let me think. Last 15 years. So we talking what? Uh we talking 2010. Talking 2010 on. Yeah, I mean shit. I mean, I'm trying to think. 2010, you had Nicki bubbling, uh the soul tapes. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, why you even got to go back that far, man? We'll just go back to the last 5 years.
mm,
Let's go back the last 5 years. It ain't like the West been popping like that in between them last 15 years either. I mean, it's really been the last maybe 3 years that the West been even really making noise like that. The East haven't really been making any noise in a while either. So they both been really like not in the picture, to be honest with you. I mean, we're gonna keep it 100. The East, the West, or the East ain't really been in the picture. I mean, you got your sprinkle of guys, you got your Kendricks out there, you got a handful of guys. But to be honest with you, I mean, as far as mainstream and
it's the South.
was yeah, it's the South. So the West been really dead, the East been really dead as well. So
I mean, because
they
you got
battling,
let's keep it a
they
buck.
basically battling over second place. To be honest with
Right.
you,
Let's keep it a buck. You know, people be I mean, if you outside of Drake, last 15 years, it was 21 Savage, it's been
yeah,
Little Baby, it was
Future,
Migos, it was Future. You know what I'm saying? It's been that whole wave, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's been
yeah.
really those guys and Metro's production. You know what I'm saying? That's really been carrying the game. You know what I'm saying? Take Drake out the equation. It's been Future. It's been Metro. It's been I mean Migos had they run. You know what I'm saying? Little Baby had they run. Gunna. You know what I'm saying? It's been the South. You know what I'm saying?
But but definitely though, man. I mean, I gotta give us a joy as far as the bar work and the wordplay. You know, what I mean, if I was judging, just like I said, strictly on that aspect of this, I definitely would say Joey Badass is winning, because he rapping his ass off. He definitely, I want him to go into the studio and make the album right now, today. Like, go make an album right now. Like, while you in this mode, go make an album right now. Don't waste don't waste all of this good rapping on Ray Vaughn, man. Go wait, go put out. You sound like you capable of making a classic with this mind state that you in and the way that you rapping. Go make a classic right now. You know what I mean? That's the next thing I'm expecting from Joey Badass is for him to have a fire ass album and he rapping like this on there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm because I mean the battle would be so much bigger, and I said this on the last show. The battle would be so much bigger if you had other records around it. You know what I mean? If you got like and I guess I'm trying to be the old. I'm using the old nigga formula for 2025. You want a remix and you got a song for the ladies. You got something for the club for the streets. You know what I'm saying? And you got some other bar work. You got a couple freestyles. Say you went to L.A. Leakers, right? That would be crazy right now. What if Joey went to L.A. Leakers and just I don't know if they would have him. What if he went to L.A. Leakers or he just annihilated a freestyle, right? Went to Flex and did another one. You know what I'm saying? Just keep this running going, but come up with some more joints. You know what I'm saying? Link up with somebody from the
Hey,
South, make a record. You know what I mean?
you know what would really be dope for real? Like if they just really did a real battle. Like if they really like reached out to a battle league or something like that, or they just threw something they self made an event and really got on the stage and just battled each other right there on the stage, like on
Shit,
YouTube
we
or
can do
Triller.
it.
Yeah, that would be dope for real. Like that would be dope if they just said like almost like how they did it with the Red Bull, with their Red Bull freestyle. If they just got up there, went round for round or something like that and just got it over with, I would respect that more than even the music and the songs. I mean, I think that would be just straight up dope if they did it that way too, because it's a friendly battle. And
Yeah,
Joey
it's
just Joey just knocked all their asses down, and at the end of the day, I mean, people will be like, Kendrick got to come out. He beat everybody, so that'll be dope if they really did that.
No doubt, no doubt. Matt Master Super Chat says, because I guess he's answering our question, because 2010 to 2025 is one era. Matt Master the Super Chat says, that's when you had a crop of new a new crop of MCs. And then Mad Max with the Super Chat says, wait, make sure I catch up with all this. And I'm saying East Coast, that includes Pennsylvania, Jersey, and New York. That's the East Coast. Okay. All right. All right.
So now Buffalo's is back, right? So
Yeah,
Buffalo is
Buffalo
back,
is
including.
back. So you got
Yeah,
Buffalo is
all right,
back.
all right.
You know what I'm saying? Buffalo is back. Buffalo is back.
And I wouldn't, like I said, my music taste, I wouldn't disagree with you, Max. You know what I mean? I like some West Coast guys, but mainly I'm an East Coast music guy. So I mean, I think that you're right if we doing it like that. You know what I mean? But just speaking on this battle in particular, I mean, hey, they kind of right, man. Joey called him out. I mean, he sounded like a little bit like a hater, and he didn't make it specific that he was. I mean, it would have been different if he was like too much Kendrick D-licking. You know what I mean? Specifically said it, but he called out the West Coast. The West Coast, you can call it caping for Kendrick, but I don't really look at it because he said the West Coast. It'd be different if he really was going and said Kendrick. We all know who he was talking to, but when you talk big, you gotta, people gonna come up and step up to the table and challenge you and defend their coast. And y'all know how this
Who
West Coast
calling
shit
out the
is.
West?
They serious, yeah. You can't call out the West Coast, man. You got to be Pacific when you spitting out names. So
Who calling out the West? Okay,
what
yada
up?
la.
What up?
What's good with it? I'm just jumping in. Sorry I'm late, fellas. You know what I mean? I was working on a posse cut. Remember the posse cut for the whole bunch of rappers on one beat? Wait till y'all hear this shit, man. But anyway, calling out the West. That's what we doing. I got the itch, man, when I heard Joey's song because I'm from California. I got the itch to clout chase. I'm not gonna lie. I got the itch to jump in the battle. But I said I'm not gonna clout chase. But I got the if you a real rapper and you don't get the itch to clout chase, I don't know where your hunger is at. Cause when I heard Joey come call out the West, my spidey senses, I said, who you talking to? Okay, but
Yeah. And that's what I agree with you, Leroy. I mean, how can you really call it a clout chase? Like it ain't Ray Vaughn, and you can't say Ray Vaughn is clout chasing Joey because you called out the West
yeah,
Coast. I mean, he a young up and coming rapper. He connected. He with TDE.
right.
You gotta be. I can't say that it's a clout chase for him to be going at Joey. I mean, Joey he called him out. He
You
want
know,
the smoke. So.
and shout out to the West Coast, man. I got a lot of love for the West Coast, and I don't mean to come off as disrespectful. I know Leroy, you from the West Coast. Taking music out
Definitely.
of it, East Coast is
Yeah.
better than the West Coast, man. West Coast ain't got no good food.
What are you
You know what I'm
talking
saying?
about?
All the fly women is on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? All the fly
What?
women is
The
on the East
women?
Coast. All
Hey,
the fashion is
yeah.
on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? We got the
Ain't
best
no Philly
restaurants.
cheesesteaks out there.
Ain't no
Ain't no
Philly
good pizza.
ain't no chicken wings on the West Coast. Ain't no good pizza on the West Coast.
Don't get it twisted,
We got all the
man. You
fly
know, the West
ladies on the
Coast
East
started a lot
Coast.
of stuff. And
Man,
and Hollywood is out here. When Hollywood is out here, so anything associated with being a star, that's West Coast.
I
That's
mean,
West Coast.
we got Miami, we got Miami, we got Atlanta, we got Charlotte, we got
Talking about
DC,
women, and you talking about
Philadelphia, New
California.
York, Philly,
I love it, man.
Gun
The,
Waving, New
the whole
Haven.
Yeah, I love it. The whole thing is I'm not gonna diss the East, man, because I know that who came out with us? Reason kind of came out and people was like, oh, he's attacking the whole East Coast. If y'all take it like that, but just know that on the underneath the surface, we not attacking the whole East Coast. Come on now. We learn from what not to do in the 90s. We learn from that. So it's not a personal attack. This is a style war. It's style war. That's all it is. You know what I
I
mean?
like that. I like that reason. I like Reason's angle though of even calling out the East Coast. Like, like what happened to y'all? Like, where y'all at, man? This ain't the East Coast that I know. Like, where y'all at? I mean, I like the motivation to call them out and make them rap again, and you know what I mean, and get their identity back, and you know what I mean. I do like that motivation. I mean, we all been. this is a known topic. I think everybody in hip hop, from one way or another, even East Coast people, we spend, whether it's through radio play, they're not getting enough of their artists heard, support from the radio. I mean, this topic about the East Coast not really being around or even having the East Coast back. I mean, look at Joey right now. Like I said, they got him standing up here by himself representing. I know
Yeah,
I mean, he did it to himself. So I know people like I ain't trying to get into that shit because he did it to himself. I mean, but somebody gonna have to
yeah,
stand up because now they calling them out as a coast and they saying like what y'all fell off as rappers. Period is basically what Reason is saying. It is. I mean, Reason is
right.
basically calling them out as a coast, just saying that they fell off as a whole coast. You know what I'm
I
saying? So
Yeah, I mean, I'll just give one major point about the West Coast is a lot of us do kind of feel away from a lyrical standpoint because we get put in the gangster box, like, oh, y'all just some gangsters. So it's like, nah, we got bars too. They be like, y'all ain't got no bars, man. All y'all do is talk about gangster stuff. So that box is kind of hard to get out of. You know what I mean? So there is because we're gonna talk about Xzibit later. King T is on there, his album as well. But when we talk about a certain box of rappers, they always had us in the gangster box, like as if we have no bars. So that's one angle. But we know it's not personal. It's really love. This is
if
competition.
if you a real rap fan, you gotta love this too because it's kind of like Joey is hanging. He leaning into his East Coast bag. You know what I mean? And what
Mhm.
works for the East Coast: bar work, lyricism, fly beats, fly talk, talking your shit. You know what I mean? Like he leaning into that East Coast. The West Coast guys, they leaning into the West Coast. So it's like really, if we really look at it, everybody can benefit from this. You know what I mean? Like I'm glad that they
That's the
they
dope part.
they repping East Coast and West Coast again. You know what I mean? And the South has been representing the South, but everybody been kind of trying to adapt and chameleon and become chameleons to their style. Now let's get back to this is what the South sound like. This is what the East sound like. This is what the West sound like. This is what the Midwest sound like. I think it's really dope, and it's a great clash of style. It's a great
Yeah.
style clash for hip hop in general. You know.
I agree. And like the West Coast, at first I said I wasn't really feeling the Ray Vaughn thing, but I get it though too though. He had bars in it, but it is a upbeat, like that is West Coast. Like that up like not only is he dissing you, but you could kind of dance to it too. Like it's kind of a bop. That's a West Coast thing, you know what I mean? So I like everybody's dipping into they style, they bag or whatever, and keep it lit, man. So salute Joey, salute Ray, salute Ab Soul, Big Sean, Joey, everybody, man. It's
Yeah,
fire.
for sure.
Hey, I had a question, y'all. Y'all think at some point Mr. Lamar needs to respond?
I think that eventually he gonna have to say a little something one way or another. I
Yeah.
mean, one way or another he gonna have to say something. I don't think that he probably won't diss him. You know what I mean? They might do a track together or something like that. I could see them
He might.
battling just.
He might
I could see
just
them just battling out over a track or something like that. Like I said, I think this would really be dope if this could hit the stage, man. This would really be dope if they could figure out a way to
that,
monetize this
that would
and
be
make
fire.
this a rap battle and they put had
Fire.
Rayvon go against Joey, and they had it was rounds. You know what I mean? Like if put some New
That
York
would,
guys in there too. Whoever would ever
and,
that would step up and stand next to Joey Badass. Put some rappers in there, and y'all just have a style clash and do it in a real traditional rap battle.
I mean, y'all got daylight in it. Daylight's a real, as far as modern battles go, that's a real thing. As far Kendrick is he is petty, so don't get Kendrick messed up. Like he'll jump in and he will diss because Kendrick is petty. You know what I mean? But I think that Kendrick should just focus on what he's doing because I look at him now honestly as a leader in hip hop. Like he is a leader or the leader, if not a leader. That's how I look at him at this point. You know what I mean? If he came in, he would kind of start stomping out people's fires, and I don't think that's
Yeah,
necessary. I think
yeah,
let those fires burn, like so that way it's
hmm
more people coming up. Like I'm not starting I'm not setting off bombs and then putting out the fires because I want to see Joey's profile rise up, Absol
yeah,
profile rise up. Reason, Ray, Vaughn. I want to see all these dudes come up. So I'm not coming down to use my leverage as a star, my star power to stomp out these fires because I don't want that. I want
I mean,
everyone to respond to me and then and I'm gonna let y'all come up to this level I'm on. You know what I mean?
the real story here will be for Joey Badass to body everybody. Just get like I said, don't play around, body everybody,
I'm with
and
it.
then keep poking the bear at Kendrick after he body everybody, and then see what happens
I'm
from
at.
there.
I'm not
That's
mad.
what you
Come
got to
with it.
do.
Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
mean, I think that's what you got to do because if you lose the Ray Vaughn or if you lose the Daylight, then what Kendrick gonna respond to you for?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm hoping that New York, you don't just let Joey stand out there on a wing by himself. I mean, that's cool if that's what y'all want to do. West Coast is not doing that. This is a gang culture. If one jumps, everybody jumps. That's just how it goes. I'm hoping New York, y'all don't let Joey stand out here by himself. Jump in, like jump, help your man. Whoever want to get in, help your man. Again, this is not a real thing. This is just lyrical exercise. So, I
Hey,
mean, come on.
shout
That's
out to
all
Joey
this is.
Kaepernick, man. Shout out to Joey Kaepernick.
Joey, Joey Kaepernick, that's
Shout
crazy.
out to Joey Kaepernick, man. I
Crazy.
almost put my San Francisco jersey on for Joey Kaepernick, man.
I got a Frisco jersey, but yeah, like jump out here, man. You know what I mean, and help your man. Like I don't look at it as clout chasing. I look at it as an opportunity to show my skills. That's what I look at it as. What better way to do that than to jump in a battle? You know what I mean? That
Hey,
seems like it's awesome.
I'm
You
actually
know,
gonna be disappointed if Joey Badass don't play off the Joey Kaepernick. I mean, it's only building his profile, it's making him look
right,
good. I mean, and he holding it down right now. You know what I mean? Like I
right.
said, the story of this would be Joey Badass takes down everybody from TDE. He revives East Coast rap. He and he
Hey,
and he forces Kendrick Lamar to confront him at the end of the day.
hey.
That's the dream
And
story for this
and if
battle
you
right
and if Kendrick confronts him, he got to scorch him to it. Now if he do all that, then Joey's out of here. He's out of
Hey,
here.
bring it, man, bring it. I mean, I will give Joey credit this, and I have always given Joey credit this, and I don't think people heard me. When it comes to reviving the East Coast, right? We're gonna look at a lot of Griselda type sound, but the East Coast is like, well, they're from Buffalo, so it's a separation, which I understand. At first, I didn't understand that separation, but I understand it now, so that's fine. But Joey in the blog era, he did revive that sound. He did ride on that because a lot of New York y'all was not doing that in the blog era. Keep it a buck. I mean, Skyzoo was out there. Shout out to Skyzoo. But Joey with his style, he did revive that sound and kind of ride with it. And I always got to give him credit for that because it wasn't a lot of people doing that. So
No,
I
I'm
mean,
happy that
no doubt, no doubt.
I think Joey made some good points too about TDE as just in general as a label, man. I mean, like they look kind of crazy to be honest with you out here. I mean, I understand Absol standing next to Joey, and it ain't no real. Like I said, it's not beef. This is just battle rap.
right.
This is the sport. But some of those things that Joy was saying about how TDE don't really support their artists, man, that shit hit home. I mean, it's part of some of the things that Absol was saying. Ray Vaughn just dropped the album. He's trying to get his career off the ground. Where is his scissor feature? Where is his dot feature? Where is the support from
I
the
don't
label? You know what I
agree with
mean?
that.
Like you got to
I don't
support your
agree.
artists, bro. And like you
I
and like
don't
like uh like Joey said, I mean, right now he giving him the
right.
most light. He giving him more pub. He giving him more. He helping him out harder than TDE has helped him just by even
But they
responding to him.
they bigger
And
than everybody else. So how much help
that's
do they
legit though,
need?
bro. That's legit. That's
TDE,
legit.
TDE as a label, right? Not to make comparisons, but we can. TDE as a label, they got Kendrick Lamar, they got SZA, they got Doechii, they got Schoolboy Q, they got Ab Soul, they got Ray Vaughn now, they had J Rock. All of these guys is big guys. These are big artists. Do you know they are big? So that run right there is crazy. If they're not helping their own artists, I don't know what help looks like.
But I mean, but
like I said, where's
but I think what Joey's alluding to, what Super's saying, back in the day, like you look at Def Jam when they had the Hard Night Life tour, the big artists Jay and DMX, they brought up the younger artists Bleak and Ja Rule. You know what I'm saying? Even
They
Method
had
Red.
$100
You know what I'm saying?
million at their disposal.
But I'm saying, ain't like they pinching pennies over there. I'm not counting nobody's pockets, but it would seem to me, and I ain't trying to tell nobody how to do their business. It would seem to me that you would put a Ray Vaughn, give him 30 minutes or 15 minutes on this tour. You know what I'm saying? You throw Absol on the tour. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Give him a couple dates, a
I
spot date.
don't know.
That would make
I don't.
sense. That would
I don't
make
know.
sense. You know what I'm saying?
You're looking
not
at it.
if
You're
not
looking
even
at a
that, man.
time that's different.
Where's the posse cut? Where is the TD? Is the Army better than the Navy? Where is the TD? Like where's the camaraderie? You know what I mean? Other than like when somebody come at Kendrick and people is like, you know, it's time to protect the money. You know what I mean? Like where is the camaraderie just on the musical stand front? Where is Ray Vaughn SZA feature? You know what I mean? Like
But
where
still,
is
though,
Ab
like,
Soul
is
SZA
that
feature?
going to
Where
move the needle? Is
it
that gonna
could.
move the needle though?
Hey, it could.
Because in '98, this is the first time people even getting hip to hip hop. I'm in Middle America. This is the first time they're seeing hip hop or hearing it, or they saw it on TV and disregarded it. And I'm talking about like Middle America. They're like, oh, it's cool, it'll pass. It's a passing fade. That's how they looked at it. When Jay-Z, DMX, Cash Money, Wu-Tang Clan, Busta Rhymes, Bad Boy, when they go outside in the late '90s, this is the first time Middle America is taking hip hop serious. So of course its impact is huge. In 2025, everybody is already familiar with hip hop now. You're not surprising them by being hip hop no more. You know, so it's not the same playing field. Like, but I hear you.
Well, I
But
mean, like I said, man, it's
TDE has
still
done a
you
great.
know when you got a star like SZA, you got connections with a guy like Kendrick. You like you said, you got J Rock, you got
Right.
Schoolboy Q, you got Absol. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, Absol's
why
going back
they
out on the
don't
road.
the TDE just don't seem to work together very well, or they got some type of in-house thing that's going on. It's something to it, and I'm glad that Joey did bring that up, and it, you know, it might spark a little bit of
Yeah, he's
internal.
supposed to. He's supposed to.
Hey, Matt Masters Super Chat says, LOL, you gotta jump. That's what you do. That's what you do. Gang banging. Christopher Hogan, let us know what artists is in Vegas. You mentioned in the chat there's a lot of underground Las Vegas artists. Put it in the chat who we need to holler at, man. We might be able to spin something out and go holler at some folks, you know what I'm saying, in a couple
Vegas,
weeks or
West
whatnot.
Coast. But I mean, you know, I think that TDE right now their main focus should be Kendrick Lamar. I mean, that's just it's
But
not
he's not
about
with them no more, right? Kendrick is
okay,
not with
okay.
TD.
But still, just based on the fact that that's where he came from. You got if you're not focusing on that, then SZA's on TDE, right? So SZA's there in the building with him. Focus on SZA, but I'm focusing on my biggest star because at the time I have to put my energy there. It's like in '98 too, even though DMX was doing huge numbers, they focused on Jay-Z because they felt like Jay-Z was something that could hold the line. And that's what they should have
Yeah,
done
but
because it
sometimes, man,
benefited.
you gotta lend your star power, bro. You gotta lend some of your star power
But he,
out to
yeah,
help get attention to some of your other artists. I mean, that's just common sense right now in the industry. I just think that at this point, it's either really something going on with them because, like I said, the blueprint. We talked about this before. The blueprint is already there. I mean, No Limit's done it. Cash Money's done it. Cash Money done it again with Wayne, Nicki, and Drake. I mean, we see it. Griselda does it. Griselda
they
works
even
together with their artists. They give features out. They known as a clique.
TDE
They
had a
known as a
longer
label.
run than even them. TDE had a
I'm not
longer
saying I'm
run.
not talking about the run, but we just talking about the success of the artists. And you know, you got a lot of artists over there
They
complaining.
successful.
You got guys getting cut and leaving. You know what I mean? You got it's a lot of stuff going on with TDE that I don't want to say that we're not talking about because they run their business how they run it. But it just looks funny
Right.
where you got a guy like Ray Vaughn that's an up and coming artist and he doesn't have a real major feature from some of your stars to help bring in some of the money. I mean, it just only makes sense. It's just common business practice in the music game. It should be.
The money is different. Like like David Banner was recently talking about. I spent $500,000 making my album. Now just think about what he's just saying. If I spent $500,000 making my album, am I going to get that back by dropping it? Let's just really think about that. Am I going to make my money back after I done spent $500,000 to make it? Now that's a serious. In the '90s, that wasn't even a question. Yeah, I'm gonna get my money back in the first week. I'm gonna get my money back. Now in 2025, you really got to think: am I gonna get the money back that I actually spend on
Well,
creating the music?
you ensure that you make the money back by putting Kendrick Lamar or SZA on the album.
It
That's
sounds
part of
good.
that's
It
part of you
sounds
trying to
good.
guarantee making that money back. You trying to make that money back with Ray Vaughn. You get him a Kendrick feature. You get him an Ab Soul feature. You get him a Schoolboy Q feature. You use your roster. You get him a J Rock feature. You trying to make that money back.
It's
You don't
touching
let your
now.
artists out there starve, and then you leave them off of a major tour where you know what I mean, like that's just I
I
don't
hear
know.
you.
Don't
I'm not
It,
mad at
it,
that. You know?
it don't make no
Go
sense.
ahead.
Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, shout out to Christopher Hogan, my guy. Y'all gotta check out Don Tripp and Starlito Step Brothers for Life album. It's fire. One of the best I've
I,
heard this year. No doubt. No doubt. We will check it out.
I actually got a chance
I,
to listen to it. It is pretty dope. It is
I'll
pretty
check it
dope.
out. I know that they both fire though, so yeah, I won't be surprised. You know, but
No
I'll check
doubt,
it
no
out.
doubt. Matt Max with super chat says East Coast is Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Buffalo. Only don't count in New York talk because you try to condense the East to just NYC, but the East is just New Jersey. Is the East is New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, mostly Philly. But to be petty, I'm taking Wiz and Mac in my playlist.
That's all good. Hey, but I think we look at the East Coast as New York simply because that's just how we look at it. I mean, I know that there's other places involved, but we look at the East Coast as New York, and that is what, because I don't think Philly and all those places, they want to be looked at as um, in this. I think they're like, we have our own thing going on. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'd have to actually talk to Philly rappers to figure out if that's accurate. So. I don't know.
I mean, the way how Reason came, I mean, it opens up the floodgate for somebody to jump in. You know what I mean? It's like, so
Yeah.
if anybody's looking for an excuse to jump in,
Oh,
and stand next to Joey, I mean, Reason just gave you a reason to jump in. So there you go,
yeah.
right there.
All is
no,
everybody. If you
Yeah.
on the East Coast, you should be jumping.
no
You
doubt.
know?
Well, we keeping score of this hip hop battle right now. Super Duper has it tied,
I,
maybe a
I
slight edge to Rayvon, maybe I think, or a slight edge to Joey. Correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
mean, like I said, it depends on how you look at it, but I'm going to give, I will give, I would honestly give, just based on the two songs, I'm going to give a slight edge to Joey because, like I said, I respect the way that he rapping a little bit more. I do like that traditional style of rap and the bar work that he put in. But like I said, I'm giving the disses and the things said to Rayvon. But
I'm gonna give it to
that's why I say
Joey.
it's a tie. A
Joey.
tie with a slight edge to Joey. Tie with a slight edge to Joey.
I'm gonna give it to Joey because, brother, I knew you could do it. You've revived the feeling, and I knew that you could do that. You know what I mean? I knew that you had it to do that. You know what I mean? Other people didn't believe you could do that. I knew you could do that. But so I'm gonna give him the slight edge because he got two songs. He got, well, I guess Ray got two songs too. But anyway, no, but Joey got more than two songs because he had the Rulers Back too. Shit, he had that. He had the song with the
Yeah, but he
freestyle with.
wasn't dissing Rayvon and them.
Yeah, yeah, I know, but just the fact that he's just even setting it off, period. You know, like he just, the whole he implied Kendrick, he's talking about West Coast D licking, whatever. He set that off, that whole dynamic. So I gotta give him a slight edge, but
Well,
just keep it going.
if you we just had this discussion before you jumped on. So if you're gonna start it there, then you got
Yeah.
to give Rayvon a credit for the two songs that he sent at Joey already. Then, I mean,
Yeah,
he
no,
already
yeah.
up. If you're gonna count it
I
there.
kept those in mind. I kept those in mind. Yeah, yeah. I'm
No,
including those two. You know what I'm saying?
no doubt, no doubt. Well, we're gonna move on to Xzibit real quick, but I got the battle right now. 2 games to 1.
All
Joey,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Will this go to game 7? Will it go to game 5? Will Joey take him out of there? If Joey, if you're listening, if your people are listening, what I would do, if your management, I would go to LA. I would go to LA Lakers, and I'll just do a crazy freestyle and just take them out in their home city. That's nasty work.
That's
Hey,
that's
Nasty
fire.
work.
and you gotta wear a Colin Kaepernick jersey while you do it too.
Woo.
Come on,
Nasty
man,
work.
do it.
Nasty
Come
work. Nasty
on
work. Nasty work. But let's go to the West Coast. We're gonna stay on the West Coast real quick.
with that.
Xzibit, Kingmaker, new album dropped on the 16th. I think this is his first album in a very long time. Leroy, you had a pleasure of listening to it. I haven't had a chance to sit down with it. I've been listening to Key Glock all weekend. What else have I
Okay.
listened to? Just Key Glock. I've been focused on Memphis this whole weekend, so I haven't had a chance to listen to Kingmaker. What say you on this album, sir? The floor is yours.
I don't know if you did. You get a chance to hear it, Super? I
I
don't know if
listened
you
to
heard
a
it.
handful of tracks. I haven't had the chance to sit
Okay,
down and listen to it from front to back yet. So no, I haven't
gotcha.
got the chance to dig into it. Right, I've heard a couple of tracks that I like what I've heard
Okay,
so far, but I haven't got a chance
okay,
to do a
yeah.
deep dive in it. So this is all you right here.
No doubt, no doubt. Okay, so one of my favorite albums of all time. Period. If y'all remember when I first came on the show, I said like 10 of my favorite albums of all time, and 40 Days and 40 Nights was in that 10. I forgot what number it was, but it was in there. Shout out to Xzibit, Pendulum Ink Professor as well. And I keep how many rappers have I said is a Pendulum Ink Professor? At this point, if y'all not checking for that, what are we doing? You know what I mean? But anyway, so I've heard the album, you know what I mean, multiple times. So Xzibit, we all are everybody in the chat, y'all, we all familiar with Xzibit, right? I mean, he's been around for a long period of time. Even going back to where Tupac thought paparazzi was a diss towards him. You know what I mean? So that he thought Xzibit was coming for him. But anyway, so Kingmaker, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go to the title track. I'm gonna start backwards. That's the last song on the album, but I'll start with the first verse off that. Right? He says, "So this is Kingmaker. Your money tight, feeling like you ain't living right. You lost sight of your goals and your spirit to fight. Can you humble your pride, ego, and sacrifice? Need some motivation at life? Listen to Kingmaker. Can you see yourself missing out on the best of things, wasting away, killing yourself, being a fiend? Want to know who behind the scenes pulling the strings? Finally, you can focus and breathe. Listen to Kingmaker. Ever felt lost, lonely, everything dark? Everything that you touch is falling apart? Is that hate in your face? Is it love in your heart? You need a fresh start. Listen to Kingmaker. Are you ready to rise up out of the ashes? Are you prepared to reveal your true self to the masses? Are you ready to be judged by your words or your actions? You got the gift for the people. Listen to Kingmaker. So I'm just saying all this is like he's talking about king stuff. You disappoint the ones you love doing dumb shit. Ready to drop dead weight. Ready to uplift. You ain't got to do it alone. Listen to Kingmaker. You know what I mean? Basically, it's the makings of how to be a king from his perspective. That's the key. He's making West Coast music from his perspective. So he does that on the record, and it's a lot of bangers on here. It just reminded me of a certain era of the early 2000s, kind of like when Restless came out. Actually, the color palettes on these albums kind of look similar. But we used to just let the whole album play. The whole album, we wasn't skipping. We would put the album on and let it play because we was doing other stuff, whether it be playing video games, roll one, do whatever we was doing, right? We'll let the whole album play. So it reminded me of that feeling because I just let the whole thing go. It's a lot of bangers on here. It started off kind of, I was like, it's cool, but then the album took off. So y'all heard the first single, Play This at My Funeral. That's an epic. It just started out epic, and I like that. He's telling your story. It's an artist's journey, and I think every artist should tell that story. I think that should be a part of every rap album. Every artist has their particular tale, right? Everywhere I go, banger. Been a long time. I like the hook on that. The moment with Busta Rhymes and Jason Martin. Shout out to Jason Martin. I like that one. You know what I mean? It's just sounding epic. You know what I mean? Earth is Over. That had a revolutionary spirit to it. Fred Hampton cuts outtakes on that or sound bites. That was fire. Leave me alone with Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre be really rapping, y'all. I mean, I don't care who writing what. when he delivers it though, you know what I'm saying? He delivers it like he wrote it. Like this man is rapping. So shout out to that because I enjoyed the song. History banger, right? Has some that sound like some African drums in there. Genesis, that was cool. I like the beat on Perfect Alibi. That it had like kind of an off kilter type beat. American Idols, that was actually fire. Kind of just American Idols, just like what that's dealing with. You know what I mean? So hold on. What you stand for? Okay, so going back to a song like History, you mentioned the Kaepernick thing. He was said something about y'all kneel, but what do you stand for? I just thought that was a dope bar. I've even used that bar. I think all of us has used a bar like that, but it was dope. American Idols though, at one part Simba, because he's on that song, he says it's rare when niggas get it and crack the code. Can't blame myself for being programmed and pigeonholed. From the stove, that's why we look up to Hove. Nick Cannon rich enough to buy an island, and niggas think he corny because he ain't killed nobody. Now all of these bars, it just makes me think like, what if everything, like I'm just asking the question, what if everything we were taught was cool was really not cool, and it was the reverse? Now that would be a mind trip. It would also be a mind trip if I told you the world was upside down. And like I'm not a flat earther, but if I told you the world was upside down and you said, "Well, how's that?" and I said, "Okay, the further you go down, if you're actually on the land, the incline is going up." So if I said the world is actually upside down, that would be kind of crazy. But I'm just saying, when it comes to just American Idols, what we deem is cool. If everything we think is cool is actually not cool, and the reverse of that is cool, I think we need to look into that. So Crash, he also had Royce the 5'9" on that. Royce the 5'9", he's been on his mental health thing for a while, and I do think that's an issue. At first, I didn't think it was an issue because the term mental health was used so many times that it kind of numb me to the term. But now I can see how that's an issue in the culture. For the Love featuring Ice Cube, thought that was dope. You know what I mean? He has a song "Shut Your Mouth" with Butch Cassidy. I really rock with Butch Cassidy, man. I wish that he did more music because I like his voice, man. He reminds me of Nate Dogg. It's not Nate Dogg, but he reminds me of Nate Dogg, obviously. Higher with Redman and Be Real. That was fire. The
That's the
Redman,
I like that track. I like that track. I heard.
Redman and Be Real. Yeah, fire. Yeah, no, that was hard. And also Notified with King T. Y'all go back and check out King T, man. That's a West Coast legend, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the guys that early on we was kind of looking at as, a major figure. And also you'll hear a lot of Biggie influence in his style, which Biggie also he said, that was somebody he was really inspired by
Play
as far
Played Like a
as that.
Piano is one of my favorite songs of all time. So
Man, come on, man. King T was really one of them ones back in the day. So he's on Notified with 187 of them. And also End of the Day, Xzibit telling the story, Kingmaker. I just gave y'all the bars from that. He also had something called Success, and that kind of read like a poem, right? So in Success, he's saying success is not convenient. Success don't wait for you to get to it on the weekends. Success is not your friend. Success is an idea. Success is a effort. Success will make you, break you, or forsake you. It's easy to get. The hard part is keeping it. Success will turn your friends to enemies. It'll turn people the other way around. Success, being able to choose wisely or unwisely and living with it. Success does not celebrate itself. Success sucks by yourself. Success success will not make you not lame. That's a bar. Success just enhances who you truly are. Success does not call you back or leave messages. Success makes contact. Success gets shit done. It has no excuses. It hates excuses. Success does not procrastinate. You know what I mean? Success, is success. Procrastination is masturbation. You effing yourself. Success is never jealous. Success is never right around the corner. Success is not safe. Success is not found in your comfort zone. Success will beat your ass. You know what I mean? So it's like a bunch of things that he says, you know what I mean? Which gives a perspective to Kingmaker. You know what I mean? So shout out to him. I think he did an awesome job on the album. Again, it dips into it's a West Coast bag. So again, we have lyricists, but lyricists that also rap over music that is a good time. You know what I mean? So I think he did that. The album, you know, I rock with it, man. And and you know, I listened to that right after I listened to Snoop Dogg's album, and both of them is really rocking. Now, again, it's a really West Coast sound, but Xzibit, you know, he held it down. He gave fresh perspective. He gave an all around picture of a perspective. People that want to have a good time, he gave you that. People that want to listen for bars, he gave you that. People that want something hardcore, he gave you that. It's a real album. So I appreciate it, man. It was dope. It was dope. I would give it, you know what I mean? I would give it a solid 4 mics if I was the Source magazine. I would give it a solid 4. You know what I mean? Because when I start going 4.5, 5, you know, that's when it's out of here. But I would give it a solid 4. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know what I mean? Fire. I can't hear
Yeah,
you, Ron.
salute to Xzibit though, for sure.
I
Yeah,
would say the
yeah.
same thing. I was muted. Shout out to Xzibit. Hopefully, we'll get him on the show to discuss it. I know we were
Yeah.
working on it at some point, but hopefully, we'll get
Mhm.
that done. And you know, he's been a staple of the West Coast. He's one of those consistent artists that always brought you consistency, right? You never. It's like
Mhm.
he's like a professional MC. You know what I'm saying? And he held the West Coast down. He was part of that. He was part of that. You know, when Be Please came out. You know what I'm saying? And then you had what's that?
Multi-platinum.
You had that. What you see is what you get. What was it?
Best video of all time.
Relentless. Yeah, Relentless out. He had. I mean, he had a lot of different. He carried the West Coast at the time, or he was part of the West Coast rejuvenation. You know what I'm saying? So Xzibit
He, he,
can't be
he
slept
was
on.
He was our Joey Badass. What I mean by that is the West Coast, when you think of West Coast, you're gonna think Snoop Dogg, period. I don't care who you are. When you think West Coast, I mean, of course you're gonna think Pac, of course you're gonna think Dr. Dre, of course, but you're gonna think sonically, you're gonna think G-Funk. Because that's what's synonymous with the West Coast. Xzibit for us represented another sound because when he came through the door, it was closer to a underground alchemist backpacker type sound. That sound had always been here, but we had no representation because they would not let us in the door. Every time we showed up, really barring out, they would say, "Well, you can't really hang with Snoop Dogg." And if you wasn't with that Snoop Dogg crowd, the labels was not letting us in. They just wasn't. So when Xzibit finally came through, we said, "Oh, that's one of us, like one of the dudes that's not on gangster time, that's not on we're on just a different time. You know what I'm saying? Like a hip hop time, bars and all that stuff and soul
I was gonna
samples."
say that. I
You
was
know what I'm saying?
when I listened to Exhibit, or what I always thought of him is that he kind of more of like the real, almost a hip hop side of the West Coast. Like he's more of a hip
Exactly.
hop rapper, a rapper's rapper, hip hop guy. He's more of a
Mhm.
traditional rapper as far as that. As far
Yeah,
as that's how I always looked at him as well. Like he was kind of more of a West Coast,
yeah.
East Coast style of a rapper. You know what I mean? Like you could
Mhm.
see him rapping in
Right.
a in a cipher, or really just getting it in the traditional East Coast way of
Yeah,
rapping.
the foundational sound. And when he
I
when
never
he
really
blew
like
up,
got into really
he
I never really got into his music like that. So I can't sit here and lie like like I really
it's all good. A lot of people did.
understand his music. I really haven't really gotten to Exhibit albums like that, but I've always respected him from afar. And whenever I heard him, I mean, he always came dope. He always was dope with his bars and his lyrics and his verses and stuff like that. But I can't really
And
say
just
I've ever
being
really
tough.
dug. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
really got a chance to really dig into his music that way.
Yo, them first two albums, to me, those first two Exhibit albums are classics to me. You know what I mean? Like if y'all want just some hard raps, them first two albums is classic. Then he did go into a G Funk type of bag with Restless and Dr. Dre and Snoop. He went into that bag because he wanted to go platinum, and he did that. But them first two albums is what the underground West Coast sounded like in the '90s. You know what I mean? And them is classic to me, like hard beats and hard rhymes.
No
You know what I
doubt,
mean?
no doubt. No, shout out to Xzibit. Hopefully we have you on soon. Talk about your new album, Kingmaker, and other things that you're working on. Let's go a little
I
bit
tell him
towards
watch
to the
this. I
east.
tell him watch this breakdown and tell me if I did a good job. And if I did, then come on the show. You know
Well,
what I'm
shit, you
saying?
did a good job, so he might pop up then. If that's the criteria, then he might pop up. Let's talk. Let's go to a place where I love. I got a lot of love for this place, Memphis, Tennessee. You know, we got DJ Paul, Block Boy JB,
Mhm.
Lord Infamous, 3 6 Mafia, 8 Ball MJG, Moneybag Yo, Glorilla, Yo Gotti, Dolph. Memphis hip hop is what it is, man. I mean, we were even thinking about doing a documentary about the importance of West Coast hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And how they took their style, from a little bit from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And they took a little bit from Atlanta and they kind of mixed it and made their own sound. And it was really soulful. They had their own thing. They created their own unique kind of spin on hip hop. And I don't think
That's
you
what's
really
up.
can tell the story of hip hop without telling the story of Memphis. You know what I'm saying? They took a lot of that stuff that they was doing for with blues and R&B and all that stuff and funk, you know what I'm saying? And they kind of made their own kind of lane in hip hop. So we wanted to talk about that more. But let's talk about Key Glock, PRE artist, carved his own lane after the unfortunate transition of Young Dolph. He got a new album called Glockaveli. And now he's really a dope artist on his own. You know what I'm saying? He's been at like that for the last 5 years since Dolph left. I mean, even before uh, Dolph died, Clee Glock was known to be the next one up. And I think with his Glockaveli album, I think he's showing how dope he is. And again, he's taking all those elements of that Memphis sound. You got Watch the Throne, you got the song Hallelujah. What else? Another song I like on this joint.
That's his artist, right? Was Key Glock? That was
Was
Dolph's
Dolph was
artist.
his cousin and his artist Made Away.
Okay.
The song
Okay.
Badu got a lot of joints in this record. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Right.
It was an easy listen. It was
I
sounds that I
like
was
that
familiar
Badu.
with. And yeah, the Badu joint was good joint. The Watch the Throne joint was good. It was dope. Made Away was dope.
That one's
Whole
cool. I
album
like that.
front to back. It was an easy listen. I enjoyed it, and it just showed me how dope Key Glock is. And not a lot of platforms talk about him. And I just want to give him his flowers, man. Dope project, Glockaveli. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Super, you heard a couple joints on this joint, right?
Yeah, I heard a couple of joints on there. Like I said, I've been so busy, man. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and dig and dig into these albums that dropped really over the last 2 weeks. I haven't really got a chance to really sit down really with nothing. But I have heard a couple of tracks. I've even shared a couple of his videos in our group chat. I mean, his rollout it's been coming slowly but surely, and I've been paying attention to it. And I do like a lot of his other music too. I mean, I think he got his own little wave, his own sound. He doesn't sound like Dolph. He's not even really trying to, you know what I mean? So he's not like trying to be a Dolph clone, or he's not trying to replace Dolph. He's staying in his own lane. He building his own career properly. And his album is nice from front to back. From not, I won't say from front to back because I haven't heard the whole thing, but I would say I've heard at least 5 songs on there. So at least the 5 songs that I've heard, I liked all of them. So if Ron's saying that he think the album was nice, I mean, I kind of believe him because from what I've heard, I've liked everything I've heard so far.
Yeah, and again, I think it's a testament. When I think about Memphis hip hop, Ball and G, even Buck came from Memphis. 3 6 Mafia. Their wave. A lot of people sleep on their wave, but they really ain't never had nothing really whack come out of Memphis, right? Really, everything. Most of the artists that come out of Memphis been dope. You know what I'm saying? Kia Shine. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I
He
mean,
was dope.
all
I
these
remember him.
Project Pat. Who else came from Memphis? Block Boy JB had that Drake feature. You got Skinny Pimp. I think Pooh Shiesty from Playa Fly. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of folks from Memphis that had their own little wave that was dope. And I think they don't get a lot of credit for what they did in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Memphis, shout out to Key Glock. Hopefully he can pull up on us, we can do an interview. But if you haven't checked out Glockaveli, go check it out. It's just dope. It's dope. And Dolph would be
I
proud,
think
yeah, of his cousin.
I think sometimes, oh, not to cut you, bro, not to cut you, but I think sometimes just it just takes a certain artist to make a certain type of impact or a certain type of narrative that they tell in the story. I don't know if Memphis has had that since like 3 6, you know what I mean? So you have the music that's there, like the style that, like, I could hear it and say, okay, yeah, that sounds like Memphis right there. But I don't know if they've had the artist to really express that style and it, I mean, that upbringing or lifestyle in Memphis. And if they have, it just means the marketing probably wasn't there internationally or something I missed. And
I
that's not foreign because that happens all around the country. There's some style that you've never heard get blown up. So, you know what I'm saying? That's everywhere. You
I mean,
know?
I think Glorilla doing a good job of holding Memphis down too right now. You know, I mean, she represented Memphis pretty well, and as far as that sound, and she pretty much holding on to the tradition of Memphis hip hop. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think she's doing a good job. Like if we gonna say Ice Spice is the king of New York, then we gonna say that Glorilla is the king of Memphis right now at the moment.
Yeah.
Over money,
And
yeah,
that's
she over money
amazing.
bag, yo. She over money bag, yo, right now.
Yeah,
Money bag, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Of course. Good. Yeah, money bag. I mean, no, I was thinking somebody else. I was thinking Yo Gotti. I was thinking Yo Gotti. Because he's Memphis, right? Yo Gotti.
yeah. They
Yeah,
all
yeah.
Memphis. Yo Gotti Memphis too.
Yeah. So Yo Gotti, he put it down. I did rock with Yo Gotti for you know, but I just think like the only reason why I brought that up because like I'm from the Bay, right? We have a certain sound that never really got exposure because you hear just a certain style, like a E40 type, and you think that's the whole Bay. We also have a Paris style, like Paris. He was like our Ice Cube. There's a whole revolutionary side of the Bay. That music never blew up because there was nobody to ever explain that side. You know what I mean? And we had hieroglyphics but internationally it was like who's really explaining that side? So I think Memphis it just needs that guy, you know what I mean? And I was hoping obviously, Drake had already blew up, but I was hoping Drake was going to shout out something about Memphis in this battle with Kendrick, but that's neither here nor there.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
it depends on how you look at it. I mean, I think 8 Ball and MJG 3 6. I mean, they did
oh,
a good job of establishing that Memphis sound and letting you know that how it is in Memphis.
yeah,
You
they
know, they
definitely
8 Ball and
did.
MJG they represented Orange Mile.
They definitely
So you got Yo Gotti too. Yo Gotti did a good job of representing Memphis. You know what Memphis is like if you're going listening through the music. I mean, I think they did do a good job of separating themselves from Atlanta with their rap styles. They never tried to really be Atlanta. Memphis has stayed Memphis. They never tried to be Houston. They never tried to really adapt to anybody's style. They stayed tradition to who they are.
And
So
they still chopping up them soul. They still chop up them soul samples. You know what I'm saying? And they flip like they take with DJ Paul and Juicy J. They flip them soul samples in a different way. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of producers take what Juicy J and DJ Paul did years ago, and then now they come in like that, right? A lot of their producers is taking their beats and kind of incorporate. Even that Big Sean record that he had came out. A lot of old 3 6 beats are getting recycled. Even uh I want to say it's so many different records that they take that Paul and Juicy J did. They flip it now. You know what I'm saying? You hear today. You know what I'm saying? So it's that soul.
yeah,
So it's a distinct
yeah,
sound.
no, yeah. They
I
got
mean,
their
I
own
do
way.
like
You know?
I do like how, like I said, if we're really paying attention, if we really want to just look at some of the good qualities of hip hop right now at the moment and what's going on really at the present moment, it is everybody embracing their region and sticking with where they from, sticking with their sound and trying to capitalize on separating themselves from everybody else. I think that's a real big thing. And I do like how like even like BX the Plug is mixing in like, some country music in with his hip hop and I mean, like the South is embracing the South, the East Coast is embracing the East Coast, the West Coast is embracing the West Coast. And it's like this is great right now. Like I really love that. It's like a great
Right.
quality that it's giving us a lot of variety in hip hop that has been missing. So, you know, I'm glad that Key Glock is still working. Glorilla is still putting in work. Memphis is still trying to put themselves on the map. They've got a nice lot of nice artists down there and guys that are making some noise. You know what I mean? But I get what you're saying though. To make that make that run, or to have yourself really established, or have that one guy that when
Yeah,
you think
or
Memphis,
repeat. Yeah, repeat what Yo Gotti and M8 A-Ball and MJG did. Repeat that to some extent. I know they can't be the same, but
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like repeat, because you're right. I mean, those two had a serious run, and you kind of heard their story and their music. It was all there. So it's like you got to bring people into your world and kind of break it down beyond just the style of beat. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
you could always have a fire beat, but people got to hear your story in there too, and kind of your culture. So that's all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's part of the thing that make really to make that. It's part of what makes Glorilla kind of dope. When you hear a rap, you hear that country, you hear that southernness in there, you hear it, and
Right.
it sounds authentic. You know what I mean? So I do like that, man. I do like that. Hip hop is really starting to represent where they're from a little bit harder, and everybody is starting to put in work. And there's different sounds now in hip hop. Everybody not making the same kind of music.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Like,
Your poets and rhymers, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Check out
mm,
Glockaveli. That's your homework assignment. Check out Glockaveli next week. I know you might not get with the name, but check out Glockaveli. Give it a chance. I think Key Glock can be the guy that continues and he's doing it. He's not can be. He is doing it. He's keeping the Memphis sound and Memphis hip hop alive. But let's segue to something
I gave
else.
it a shot. I'm not
Yeah,
mad at it.
yes, it's a dope album. It's a dope project. Let's segue to something else. We gotta be current on the news. So we gonna talk about
Mm,
the Diddy trial. Super, you weren't on the show on
okay,
Thursday.
that's
What
right.
are your thoughts on the latest that's been going on right now? The case is in its second week, going into its third week. Um, they had Cassie Ventura took the stand to give her testimony. I think Don Richards from Danny D. Kane is taking the stand. A lot of text messages were shared. A lot of pictures were shown. I think some videos were shown. And now we're getting into week 3. So, any key takeaways from the trial that you saw? Any thoughts on it?
Man, I'm gonna just say this, man. I mean, I called this out, and I received a little bit of pushback when this case first started. And I told y'all, man. I mean, this case, from what I'm hearing, man, this don't sound like no Rico to me. I mean, this sound weak. If anybody's supposed to be standing next to Diddy at that defending table, it sounds like it should have been Cassie, man. She is. I mean, to be honest with you, it sounds like the whole reason why this Rico case is even happening is because of Cassie and her wanting to do freak offs and him wanting to do freak offs. I mean, they both like they both wanted to do these freak offs. It sounds like to me. I mean, I don't want to overstep my boundaries. I mean, I know abuse is abuse, and people can manipulate, but at the same time, I mean, Cassie's a grown woman. You can't be manipulated like that far gone. I mean, like, I don't know, bro. But I want to hear what you got to say a little bit about it, man. It's nasty. This
I
is
mean,
a little bit. I mean, for them to be trying to prove a RICO case, I don't know. I don't know if we really need to even be
right.
hearing all of it. Like, they need to start getting to that RICO case evidence, and they need to start pinpointing what they're trying to do. Because yeah, okay, I think everybody know that Puff Daddy a piece of shit. He beat her up. I mean, the video is there. That's one thing. But does that, just because you done beat up your lady on video, and your girl is a freak, and she wanna have sex with multiple people, and you like to watch? I mean, is that
I,
really a RICO? Is that a life case because your girl is a flipper? I mean, really, we doing that now?
well, two things. So I think we assume that when we go to court, it's gonna be fair. Like we have this assumption that the court treats us fair. I don't know why we have that assumption and where that comes from. Like we go to court expecting everybody to be fair to us. I don't know why we think like that. You know what I mean? This is not with this. I don't know if we know what country we're in, or if we need more proof that the court don't have to be fair to you. But the court don't have to be fair to you. To us. I hate to say that, but you can run down the line and just ask yourself, does it look like the courts are fair to us? Just ask yourself that. So that's one
Well,
thing.
before you go, I will say Irv Gotti beat his
Yeah.
case. Irv Gotti beat his case. ASAP
Did
Rocky
he
beat his
though?
case.
Did he?
So was
Did Irv
successful.
Gotti beat his case?
He did.
Because the damage was done. So when the damage is done, if I'm still free, did I win? I'm still free, yes. So I
Yeah,
won
yeah,
my
you still
freedom.
won. Yeah, I mean, at this
But the
point, yeah,
damage
yeah,
was done. My
yeah.
company is
But
forever trashed.
who cares? You get your freedom. I mean, he gonna still be rich after
I
this.
want my company too, though. You know, because I
Well,
mean,
that's all over. You
I
can
want my
give up on
company
that. I
too.
mean,
You know
I'm
what I'm
sure
saying?
his name is dead in the streets and in the business world. He's excommunicated and cut off. So yeah, I
Okay.
mean
Okay.
that's over for Diddy. But as far as
But
like I said, just sticking with just the Rico case and the sex trafficking case. I mean, I mean, he was
okay.
sex trafficking. He was basically sex trafficking on behalf of Cassie and
Was
on
the
behalf
was
of
the court
himself too.
fair to the was the court fair to the mafia? When the mafia goes to court, was the court fair?
Why you
They
talking about
took the
fairness
mafia
though?
down. They took the
I ain't saying if it's fair or not.
they
I'm just
took
saying just
the mob down on a RICO, and they didn't
unless
care about what was fair. They was
yeah,
just
but
like y'all going,
they had proof of a RICO though. They actually
y'all
proved the
going.
case.
I'm just
But
saying
right now, only thing that they proven right now is domestic violence. That's pretty much that's the only thing that I'm seeing so
A
far.
RICO is if I have a crew. Am I right or wrong? A RICO is do I have a crew? Does Puff Daddy have a crew? Is what I'm
Yeah,
asking.
Cassie was the crew.
But Puff Daddy does have a crew, and now whether people believe it's a Rico worthy or not, the question is, does he have a crew? Yes, there were other people there. They set up cameras. They followed up on emails. They made phone calls. They drove vehicles. They bodyguarded both of them. So I'm just saying that appears to be a crew.
But they
Now
did it. But they did
trafficking,
it on behalf.
to
They
me,
did it
to
on
me,
behalf of Cassie
trafficking.
though.
Hold on, trafficking. That state lines, right? So if I'm crossing into California, Nevada, Atlanta, Florida, New Orleans, Virginia, New York, Chicago, what does that look like? I'm just saying.
to me, it sounds
I'm
like a
saying
Coercion, right?
to
Coercion
me, it
means
sounds like a
you.
dysfunctional, disgusting relationship
No, no,
that lasted
no. We're not.
over a
But
decade. That's what it
based
sounds
on
like to me.
definition, based on
it.
definition of trafficking,
It sounds
you're
like to
crossing
me
the state line for the purposes of engaging in sex with sex workers. So
for me. I'm gonna say
if
this:
we got the
if we
text, we
giving
got
Diddy
the
life,
email,
if we giving Diddy
we
life,
got the video.
Cassie need to sell too. If we giving Diddy life
Sell
for
food,
setting up these sex orgies that Cassie
but you
wanted to
paid her.
participate in, then
You paid
she need
her.
to go to jail too.
Well, it
She
sounds
should
like
be.
You paid her.
Leroy, if that's your definition, again, I'm not excusing any behavior.
It's the court's
Every
definition.
rock band in the history of rock and roll music
We're not talking about them.
would be
We're not
guilty
talking
of
about
this
them.
situation.
We're not. But were they paying sex workers? Did they do that?
I mean, how do you
Because
define that though?
once you do that, that's a different. I'll put. We're all adults here, right? Pardon anybody who got kids in the room, but all of us have had sex in different states. But were we paying for it? Were we paying to have sex with these girls, or were we G'ing it? You know what I'm saying? Off game. That's different. That's different.
But I never heard
Now,
I never heard the customer being charged with this. Normally, it would be the person that's providing the workers
man, you're
that get
looking for
charged.
fairness. You're looking for people to be fair. Or why the court? When is the court going to be fair? Why? When they
Leroy,
going to do
just let
that?
me just answer this question, Leroy.
Also,
From the
when you
evidence that they
36, when you 36 and you talk to a girl that's 20, can you G her out her clothes? I'm gonna keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. If you
Leroy,
36 and you talk to a 20-year-old, you could make her do anything just off
Leroy,
GP,
let me ask you this.
especially if you got money.
Let me ask you this. From what they presenting right now, and from what through the text messages, and from what the questions that Cassie has answered,
Right.
what was Cassie a willing participant?
Yeah. Okay. Also
I
an
mean that
unwilling part. She was both.
maybe at times, when they was
She was
arguing, or
both.
maybe at times, but like I said, I mean, like, her excuse is that she was doing it because she didn't want somebody else to be doing it. That's basically what she's saying.
Right.
I
Yeah.
did
Of
it.
course.
I did it because I didn't want to be replaced by another chick doing it. So like
I
you
mean,
held your she made herself this victim and this captive of all. And I mean, the guy sat there on the stand and said, Cassie asked me to pee in her mouth. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. I know we probably can't say that, but I mean, she
Yeah.
literally
Well,
act
code
like
worded.
she
Code
literally
worded.
asked she literally asked for her abuse. You know what I'm saying? Diddy was sitting in the
I
chair.
don't know. I don't know if she asked for that because I'm again. We all from certain
That's what
areas,
he's
right?
saying. Her
We
witness
being
saying
from
that.
California. If you arrest a street worker, a female, out in California, when you get her to court, she's gonna say, "Look, it's my fault. I did everything. I set up everything. I yada yada da 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 da." But they still gonna charge that pimp because they know for a fact, even though she's saying all this shit to protect the pimp, they know for a fact that the pimp's hand was in the background. They know
But
that.
why is this even a pimp though? Why are you saying a pimp? Because she was even setting up her own freak offs for her own.
But that's what
She was doing
prostitutes
this out
do.
of
They
her for
set it
her.
up.
He was setting it up for her enjoyment. She was
That's
asking for
what
these things.
prostitutes
Like that's what I'm
do.
saying. So if anything, she
Pardon
just as
me.
guilty as Diddy. She just as guilty as Diddy.
Pardon me. But again, and to go swing back on what I said before, Diddy represents a certain thing in our minds. But what if everything that we were taught was cool was actually not cool?
Let
That's
me.
If
the reckoning we got to deal with. What if doing that
if
is
if
not cool? What if
If Diddy is Nino Brown, then Cassie is G Money.
you can get a 20-year-old, you can get a 20-year-old to do you can get a 20-year-old to destroy themselves. You can talk a 20-year-old to destroy themselves. You just GM into that. They'll destroy themselves off just talking them into it. So that I'm
well,
not surprised.
this is
Once you train a sex worker that's also a drug addict, also someone who ain't got paper like that, who ain't got no guidance like that, who you picked up when they was barely getting illegal, they don't really know no better. They don't. And then and then you put the hammer on her too. Now they really scared. So I see what you're saying, but the people in that jury, if they're familiar with this type of lifestyle to any degree, they know that a lot of times it is a dude in the background. It's not too many women that subject themselves to this off their own will. Do they
Listen,
exist?
man. I just want y'all.
Yes.
I hear what you're saying, but like I
But
said, Cassie out her own mouth said that
I understand.
she didn't want somebody else to be doing it.
I understand. It sounds like the
I
same
mean,
thing a
like
sex worker
at some
says
point, bro,
to
we like
protect their
women.
pimp.
We listen. We understand women are not as powerful as men, bro. But like they always try to say women smarter
Physically.
than men. But then when it comes down to it, we talking about how a man manipulated their mind and all that. Like this girl is a grown up
Yeah.
adult making grown up adult decisions. She was doing what she wanted to do because she wanted to do it,
And
and
so
that's
was
all I'm really
Diddy.
saying. Like I get it. I get it that yes, Diddy, it looks horrible. They was in a bad relationship. They both was some dope things or whatever was going on. But for me to sit here and be like, yeah, Diddy is wrong for throwing sex parties that Cassie was asking for too at the same time, and he was enjoying it at the same time. And half of the time he was just sitting there watching according to what they're saying. He was watching and
Yeah,
doing
but
weird shit while he was watching. But
this
for the
ain't
most
this
part,
ain't
I
the
mean,
battle
these
we want to stand. We want to fight. We don't want to
I
fight
mean,
this.
it ain't no battle to fight. I mean, from what it
We
sounds
don't want
like,
to fight.
Diddy was supplying her with what she wanted, and he was sitting back watching it and getting
I don't
off on it.
know. Had
She was picking and choosing the type of activity that was going on at these freak
Cassie
offs with her.
never met Diddy, would she be doing this?
I don't
Maybe
know.
with somebody else. You never know.
I don't
I
know,
don't
because the
know.
way it looks like to me, it looks like Diddy played the major role in her. I don't want Diddy to be upset. You keep saying Diddy. But we gotta be real. In my mind, I think that because you have a lot of older dudes that's showing up, grabbing these young girls off the street. I think they have control over them.
I'm just saying that her
Because I
saying
don't
that
think they got experience
her
dealing
saying
and also you got women, older women, you got women in their 30s, they picking up little 18-year-old boys, and the boys think that they got the power. You little niggas ain't got the power. If your girlfriend is 36, 37, 40 years old and you 19 and you thinking you got the power, you playing yourself. But the dude's gonna say, well, no, I got the power because I'm the man. He don't know he being manipulated. The girl he dealing with damn near 20 years older than him. He
Right.
can't figure it out.
Right. Right. You make both of y'all make some good points. Before we move on this topic, I want to say this. I do want to get. We're looking for somebody that has a legal mind that understands these legal cases that can speak on this in a legal from a legal perspective. So if you know somebody, please hit us up so we can start giving this commentary once a week. I will say this. Let me finish real quick. I will say this that to me, from what I'm seeing, my take is this has been it was a toxic relationship. It was a bad relationship with drugs, power, and all this type of stuff. But I have yet, I'm not a legal expert. I have yet to hear any crime that has been committed based upon. Well, I've heard crimes being committed, but I haven't heard anything he's been charged with presented in the case. That's all.
Coercion. There was no coercion there.
I don't. I haven't. I
Hey,
don't know.
listen.
There's no
Hold on.
coercion.
This one. I'm. That's why I keep saying what I'm saying. Cassie admitted that there was no coercion. She said that she did it because she didn't want
Yeah.
some other chick to do it. So that's
Of course she's gonna say that.
But
Of course she gonna say
why is that of course? Like that's like saying I'll volunteer to get raped so nobody else get raped. Like, come on, bro. Like if you just don't
when they
volunteer for
arrest
this
these
shit.
women, and they all beat up, and the first thing they say is, "It's my fault. It's my fault I look like this. It's my fault that I got hit on. It's my fault I'm out here on the corner." All that my fault that they doing, they protecting the hidden hand. That's all they doing, and people know that. People know that. They know that you
Hey,
not fooling the people. You not fooling the people. Oh, it was my idea. I did it. And you protecting
I
the
mean,
nigga. We know that.
listen, man. I said this from the beginning, bro. I think Diddy has done enough shit that where he should be going to jail for the right shit. You know what I'm saying? Like really the right shit. But from what I'm seeing with this, I'm not shooting no bail at all. I'm not defending Diddy. But I'm just looking at it from the case and what's being presented and the facts of the case. I mean, you got to look at what they lied about a lot of stuff, like to us. Like where are the minors at? Where they was talking about minors being involved with this at one point. They
I
was talking
mean,
about
you know they gonna throw that
they was
out
talking
there.
about sex tapes with celebrities and Justin Bieber and all of this type of shit at first. Like they was telling us
Or
a
the
lot of
oil, or the
things that
oil was laced with drugs or
yeah,
something.
baby oil laced with drugs, and you know what I mean, like the whole thing. Like now they spinning this, and it seemed like they focusing on what Diddy and Cassie was
I'm
doing
saying,
sexually when
yeah.
Cassie signed up for this, said that she did it basically out of jealousy, and she didn't want him to be doing it with anybody else. I mean, that lets you know that he didn't have to force her to do nothing. Like he didn't force her to
No,
participate in
man.
this.
That video looked like it's force to me that was applied. You know, force was applied. And after you apply that force, they not
But
forgetting that.
that's assuming that she didn't want to do a freak off, or and then that's why that argument was happening, or that's why he was dragging her back to a freak off. That's assuming that. But that's they haven't proved that yet. They haven't proved that she was running out the room because she didn't want more sex, and
The
Diddy drug her
reality
back in the room so he can watch her have more sex. They didn't prove that.
Well, the reality is we're equal as people, right? So you have men and women. We might be physically stronger than us, but they probably have a power that we don't know about that's stronger than us to balance that out, right? But if we're gonna be out here claiming boss, I'm a boss. Now you claiming a different title, my G. Now, however you run your bossness, run it. I'm not the judge of what people should be doing. But I think we need to analyze our bossness and how we boss up and how we run a tight ship. And what Diddy is doing, that ain't the way. That ain't
I
the
mean,
way.
another thing too about that video with them too, like the way that they formulate this story in the way that they got us thinking about it as if that was the last day that Cassie and Diddy was together. They was together again after that. They did more freak offs after that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things happened. Like so the way they even present in that video is if that was the end of the relationship and she couldn't take anymore and she was running away.
Yeah,
It's kind of even built off of almost like a false premise that they have us, that they even got us believing. Like
bro.
they didn't have us believing so much false shit in this story, and now what they doing is
Because
running
look
with.
how much they got though. They
They
got
don't got what do
they
they
got the
got? They
tech.
got domestic
They
violence,
got
bro.
they
All they
got
got is
they got the
domestic violence
phone.
so far.
They got emails, they got videos, they got names, they got locations, they got testimony. Like the amount of stuff that they got is so crazy that yeah, they're gonna throw in a bunch of extra stuff because what they do, I don't know how people are saying they ain't got evidence. Because what I've been hearing the last week, I'm hearing evidence. I'm
Evidence
sorry.
of
It
what?
sounds like
Evidence?
evidence.
What you hearing? Evidence of a RICO or evidence of domestic violence in a bad relationship?
I mean, I know if I was charged of the same things, nobody's coming to my defense. They're gonna say I did that. When it's Diddy now it's different. Now I understand. He got money. I'm regular. I understand. But yes, I'm hearing all the stuff that they saying he done. I'm hearing that in the testimony. I'm hearing pieces there. She ain't got to say it verbatim. He did traffic me. Da 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 da. But the way she's explaining it, yes, to me it does sound like what it sounds like. I'm sorry, maybe hip hop they don't want me to say that. Maybe y'all want me to cape for Diddy. And I'm not saying other people are caping. That's just the word that came out right now. But that is like I'm hearing the pieces fall into place. Like if
I
he
hate
could
for
beat
it to
that,
even
right?
sound
Because
like
there's a
that too.
lawyer out there. One second. There's a lawyer out there that would tell me I'm wrong, and I understand because you're a lawyer and I'm not. But you would really have to explain to me what I'm hearing that's wrong or what I'm not seeing, because I'm seeing different. Honestly, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I
Mm.
mean, like I
Man,
said, I think that unless they got something else coming and they got more to present and more evidence to build this foundation of a RICO. I mean, right now, like I said, I just like the RICO case is not looking that strong from what they presented with Cassie. Like you said, the feds, you never know really what they got. But if this is the foundation of this RICO case, and this RICO case is based on freak offs with Cassie, then Cassie is just like I said, just as guilty as Diddy because she sounded like she wanted it. She volunteered. She did it
if
basically out
you
of
was the
straight up
feds,
jealousy. She did it out of jealousy of
if
him
you
not
was the
wanting to
feds,
do it with other people. And
you wouldn't use the
hold
RICO.
on, Leroy.
If
Just let me
you
say
was
this
the
last part.
feds,
I I would be uncomfortable, me just as a person watching this case. I'm uncomfortable with Diddy getting life based on this, is what I'm saying. Like based on Cassie being a willing participant in freak offs. Yes, he was flying people out, flying out escorts, but life, I'm uncomfortable with Diddy getting life based on him
I
slapping
mean, what
Cassie
you want
around in
them
the
to
video.
do? If you was the feds, you would be easy on the situation, or would you go hard on the situation? You would probably go hard because that's what the feds do. Like that's what they do. I'm sorry, y'all, but
They
when the
gotta go
feds
harder.
come,
They
that's
gotta
what
go
they do.
harder. They just gotta go a little bit harder, bro.
That's why
They
they
just gotta
got a
go a little bit harder.
99. That's why they got an almost perfect record of winning. Like because they gonna go hard at you. Like that's what
I
they
don't know, man.
do.
Hip hop
You know what I'm
been
saying?
kicking the feds' ass though. I mean, you got
Yeah,
Young Thug. I mean,
yeah,
really, a lot of people been kicking the feds' ass, to be honest with you. But
right.
you got Young Thug. You got who else? You got who else just beat the case? You got ASAP Rocky. I mean, the feds been
Right.
coming.
Yeah. I mean, y'all
You
lucky
you
y'all
you on
some
you
rich
on mute,
people, man.
Ron.
Because the rest of the people that's not rich, when they hit that courtroom, they
I
not
think
getting
G
up.
Herbo got off light. I think he
Yeah,
got
G
off.
They not,
Herbo.
G Herbo got off light.
I mean,
but
sometimes
the problem is,
when they come with
why
these
y'all
cases,
even
they build, it's a lot of salacious and things that they say. I mean, like I said, they misled the public with
bro,
the things that they was even going to be charging them with. Like I said, I was waiting on minors to be coming up in this case and the sex trafficking of minors. When I heard that, I was done with the shit. I mean, I said, I mean, I think Diddy been a piece of shit for he been deserving to probably be under the jail for some things that he's really done. But from what they presenting to me right now, I don't feel comfortable with the man getting life on this. Now bring up these Tupac allegations and let's prove some real shit. But this freak off shit with Cassie right now, this ain't looking like no Rico life worthy sentence to me.
I don't know. Like I said, man, Rico means you got a crew. If we look at Puff Daddy, if he got a crew, then of course they attaching that. Anybody with a crew, anybody. So if you have a crew of people that you employ, they attaching that right off top. Boom, Rico. Because they gonna say all your people that they knew about it. So they're complacent. That's what they gonna say.
But
And all these
what
people coming
about
out
Cassie
giving
setting
interviews,
up?
all y'all giving
What about
interviews.
Cassie
I don't know
setting
why
up
y'all
and
giving
calling these
interviews.
people herself though? What about
All
her
y'all
setting
giving
up these freak
interviews.
offs and calling and paying for
I
the
don't know why
escorts
y'all giving
and
interviews. Yeah,
setting them
again,
up?
that's normal. That's normal in the sex traffic world, sex worker world. That's normal. They used to the females caping. The females gonna cape. That they used to that. But all of y'all giving interviews, the bodyguards, oh, I seen this. Y'all may want to be quiet.
So
I
so
don't know
so
why
so
you
so 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 Lee,
volunteering your testimony
so
because guess who's gonna come knocking on your door pretty soon? All y'all
so
giving interviews.
so Leroy, it could be the way the way you see the case. Could that's your view on it? Could it be the alternative reality that they both were in a crazy relationship and they both wanted to
So
engage in
both
these?
means Diddy. Both
No, let
means
me, let me,
Diddy.
let me, let me finish what I'm saying. Could it be both two people in a crazy relationship that wanted to engage in these type of activities? Could it be?
Okay.
Is there any scenario where it's non-criminal, where there's these two people that wanted to do some crazy things with crazy folks, and that's how they got down? Is it?
I'm saying,
Could it be just
but you
that?
said both. You said both, so that
Yeah, I
means
said
Diddy's
both. Yes,
involved.
I said both.
So that
There's only
means Diddy.
only one person's on
That's it.
trial.
That's the role you play. You held the power. If Cassie was the one holding the hundreds of millions and you was the broke one, they would put it on her. But that wasn't the if Cassie was beating you up and she held all the money and she brought in the workers, they would, but that's not the scenario. Yes, you may have went online and made emails. Yes, she may have made phone calls, text messages. Yes, she may have said it, this is fun, blah, blah, blah. But they gonna say fine, but we still gonna get your man. We don't care about how you feel about whether you liked it or not. We gonna get your boy. Like that's it. That's
Man,
just
I
like
think that,
that's just like when you find out an older dude slapped your little niece, right? Now you gonna discipline your niece because you gonna ask your niece, why was you even there? That's gonna be your first question. But when you see the dude though, you already know hands and feet is getting put on the dude. That's just off the top. You know that. You know what I mean?
no doubt, no
You know
doubt, no
that.
doubt, no doubt. Let me get to the super chat real quick before you go super. Mad Max says, "LOL, the case should be thrown out because one person can't run a X ring org by himself. Where's Young Miami and
Diddy
others in this
can't run a
case?"
Max. If you had access to $1 billion, you know the amount of stuff you could do in America. So I think you should rethink that. Diddy had access to $1 billion. You know the kind of stuff he could do with $1 billion. Say it's people out here with $1 million, and if they want to do something in your city, bruh, ain't nobody
hey,
stopping that.
hey,
I promise you.
another thing too, man, and this is what I'm saying about the lies that the media have been telling about this. Poets, that there ain't no sex tapes. Like, ain't no sex tapes. That was all a lie too. Like, there ain't no sex tapes with a bunch of celebrities having sex. That was a lie. They might have a
But there
couple
is
of freak
tape
offs and
though.
personal tapes that they have with Cassie, but there's no celebrity sex tapes. There's no celebrity
The,
sex tapes.
This
yeah,
case, this is a
I
more.
think
I was.
there is.
I
I
will say
think there
this.
is
This
though.
is one of the strangest cases I've ever seen. I think this case is very strange. I want to get a legal mind to speak on it. I've never seen any case like this in the history of cases. To me, this sounds like a
But you
personal.
have though. You
No, I have
have.
not. To me,
If
it seems
if
like a
you
personal situation
if
gone
you go
wrong.
down to your local court building, you gonna see that. It's just that that's not gonna make it to TV. That's the only
If this is
difference.
the case, then there's 100 cases in Magic City that need to be pending right now. If we are, or if
But there
Atlanta,
are.
not like this, man. I've never seen anything like this. But
I hear
again,
you though. I'm not saying you're wrong, but
I
if
just
we
don't
all of
I
us
don't
let's
get it.
go
I
to
don't
our
get it.
city and we gonna see this happen in real life. It's just that the dudes we see it happen to is not famous. That's the only difference.
So
And you
so
know what I'm saying?
so if he gets off, if he gets found not guilty on this, do you think he could do a bad boy tour again, or is it over?
You can never walk around me after I seen what you did. I'm not. I'm not.
No,
I'm not no.
I'm saying you, but I'm saying, do you think he could do a bad boy tour if
I'm
he
saying
were to be?
hip hop. Hip hop. You have to hip hop. We want to make our justice the court system's justice. We not the court. We the streets. So y'all figure out what you want to do with Diddy when he hits the streets. If you want to embrace Diddy with love, I'm okay with that because I was raised spiritually. So if we want to apply spiritualism, I'm with that. If y'all want to go a different route when he hits the street, then it is what it is. But decide what what you do with this type of person, because this type of person, it's a reason why nobody gonna be respecting him when he really walking around the yard. Ain't no niggas giving him no respect. They looking at him like food. You food out
And
here. They not respecting
poets,
that.
poets asked me who said that. Diddy's lawyer's been giving interviews out there. Mark Garagos, he's close with the case. He's been giving interviews out there. There are no minors and there are no celebrity sex tapes. That's not what the feds even. They're not. You won't be
I mean,
hearing any evidence of celebrity sex tapes. You won't be hearing any evidence of minors. That's not part of the case, and that's what I'm saying. Like they led us to believe that was all part of the case, and that it was a bunch of big deal made about the drugs found in the airplane, and
but
a
we
lot of the
we
stuff that
also made a lot of that up too as a culture. We made that up, not us three,
yeah, but
but in hip hop,
they did
we
too
throw
though.
out a lot of scenarios. We do.
If you go back and watch that press conference, they doubled, like, from what they were saying when they first raided the house to when he was first arrested at the airport, and all the things that they
Right.
were saying all the alleged things that they were saying that they found, all of that was a lie.
Right.
Most of it was a lie. I won't say all of it, but most of it was
And
a lie. And
the jury actually has videos though. We don't. The jury though, they playing videos for the jury that we don't get to see. I just want everybody to know that. So the jury
But
think
this is
differently.
my disclaimer in this conversation, because people like to get shit twisted and act like I'm putting a cape on. I've never been a Diddy fan. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that right there. This ain't about liking Diddy or not liking Diddy. I want to see him free. I'm just speaking on strictly the evidence and what's I've been told and what I'm seeing through the case. That's strictly it. So this has nothing to do with
Yeah,
being
that's
a
all good.
fan of the man or thinking, trying to protect him or anything like that. So it just is what it is. This is the evidence being presented. I'm responding to the evidence and the news that I'm being presented with, and giving my honest opinion about what I see going on. So
No doubt, no doubt. Well, we continue to have updates on this as the days goes along. Week 3 coming up, and hopefully, if you are a legal mind, please hit us up at info@accordinghiphop.com. Have you on the show to speak from a legal perspective. But again, this is a very strange case.
Right.
I can't really speak on it, but I'm uncomfortable with what I've been hearing, and it's just unfortunate. Mad Master Super Chat, before we move on off this topic, says, man, the Diddy case is just them pushing slavery narratives on black men, because Hugh Hefner done this. The X video industry has done this. OnlyFans groups do this. Other people, men have done this, and now the black man and woman
But
pushing
Mad Max,
stereotypes.
we think that we Hugh Hefner. We walk around as black men thinking that we have the same power as Hugh Hefner. That's the mistake right
We
there.
do. I mean,
Like,
all men are created equal, right? So we should have the
no,
same.
no. In the court system, if they got you and they got Hugh Hefner, who you think they gonna go after? Like, you thinking they gonna be fair? Well, Ron and Hugh Hefner, they're on the same level. We're gonna treat them fair because this is the court system and we're about fairness. I don't know where y'all get this fairness from. Like, y'all got homies, a bunch of homies that done went to jail, right? Let's, like a lot of us. Was the court fair? No, they was not fair. That's just, I mean, I hear you, but Hugh Hefner, he let it be known, hey, I'm a freak. If you deal with me, you gonna have to be a freak. Hugh Hefner wasn't trying to hide it. Hugh Hefner walking around parties in his robe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Hugh Hefner. Y'all is bunnies to me. He
Mad
didn't
Master
hide
Super
you
it.
know,
Chat. Mad Master Super Chat says, because nothing that is shown in this case is RICO worthy. It's just a shame ritual to push black men as
Right?
predators.
and
What's your take?
All these
I swear,
bodyguards
I was
giving
just about to
testimony.
bring that point up. I was just about to bring that point up for real, man. Hey, to be honest with you, bro, we got to start believing black men, man. I'm starting a new hashtag, man. Believe all black men, man. They've been coming after black men with a lot of these crazy charges, from Bill Cosby to now to Smokey Robinson, man. They
Chris
going after
Brown locked up.
Smokey
Chris Brown
Robinson.
locked up. Free Chris Brown.
Yeah, Chris
I
Brown.
mean, the whole thing is
You,
this:
you know what
like,
I'm saying?
you got to fight your case,
The
though. You got to
I
fight your,
mean, I
when
get
they
it, man, but it,
when they talked about Jay-Z did whatever he did, he fought immediately. He wasn't waiting till somebody has to prove to y'all that he did. He was like, nah, I'm going because I didn't do that. But you can't wait until you get behind the G wall. Now you want to fight. It's like, come on, now you already in the system, bro. Like you were supposed
I
to
mean,
fight before that.
how many more times black men got to keep beating these old fraudulent ass cases? I mean, you know, from Shannon Sharp to Jay-Z to all these guys that they
You
keep trying
gotta
to go after.
you gotta control yourself.
How many times do men got to start beating the cases before they start looking at some of these women a little sideways and like really looking at some of these
Black men,
motives?
you gotta
Because
control
it
yourself. Black men, you gotta control
what
your red chakra. You not
hey,
control. You
that's
thinking with your privates, and that's what gets you into these problems, black man.
hey Leroy, I totally agree with you. A lot of this is the fault of their own, and they putting themselves in these positions. But at the same time, I mean, you
Love
know,
y'all.
come correct, man. Like I mean, you know what I mean? Like stop with these schemes and shit. They messing it up for real victims. You know what I'm saying? Even I'm gonna be honest with you too. I mean, even this all the stuff that's been going on, like I said, from Bill Cosby to Jonathan Majors to even Johnny Depp, and a lot of these guys, like throughout this time that's been going through these little kind of crazy cases,
Bill,
it's
come
making
on, no, Bill Cosby. Come on, Bill Cosby. Come on,
it's hard to
Jonathan
stand
Majors.
by a lot of these victims, bro. It's hard to stand by a lot
Why
of them
was you
because
there, Jonathan
it's just
Majors?
hard to stand by them, man. It really is. It really is.
Jonathan
It's hard to
Majors,
stand by.
why was you there? Why was you there in the vehicle with a snow bunny? Bill Cosby, why was you there with or surrounded by snow bunnies? I need to know why you there. I'm gonna tell y'all something, all you guys that like to dibble and dabble. You got your own house. So why not take your party and take your sexcapades into your own house? Try that. You know you could do that, right?
I mean,
But when you go to
even if
another
we really
man's house,
think about,
another man's hotel and you want to just be acting crazy in another person's establishment, what are we doing? Go to your
if you really want to
house.
look at what they charging Diddy with and compare it with what the little civil settlement from Vince McMahon was, like it's almost kind of it's really outrageous that they even going this hard at Diddy when what Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis or whatever was doing to that one lady. I mean, they got
And the system
Cassie
ain't fair, man.
Cassie
The
Cassie ain't got
system,
nothing on her. They did her.
system, system ain't
In that
fair,
Cassie ain't
case,
got
man.
nothing on her. And
in that case is
this
gone.
is in like I
That
want to
case
say in
is
the same
gone.
state.
That case is gone. That
I
Yeah,
case
mean,
it's gone. Nothing
where's the
happened.
women?
He was at
Where's the
he
women? If that's the case, where is the women that's gonna stand up and say, "Oh no, I've been with dude, and he ain't never put his hands on me. In fact, he only helped me. In fact, he only encouraged me to be great. He only helped. He never put me in a compromising situation. Where are them women at? So if you ain't
we
got none of them women, you ain't got no. You can't call none of your exes. Hey, I need you to show up, and your ex show up and be like,
we
Nah,
don't
he
know.
always did.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. It's still ongoing. But
Where are they? It's been a week.
we got to get off this
Uh,
topic. They haven't presented
Months actually.
they haven't presented their witnesses yet. They haven't
Oh,
gotten to that
okay.
stage yet. Mad Master Super
I,
Chats, if you think they're not pushing this for racism, you're delusional because this is just programming. You're telling me that about baby oil, like they put baby oil on male and female actors in scenes to project images. Good
Mad
point.
Max. Everything you have been told is a lie. 100% of it, not 99, not 95. Everything in this culture, period, now is where I'm going, has all been bullshit. Everything that we were told was cool has always been bullshit. And it's at some point where a light bulb's gonna go off like bling, and we gonna rewind the whole tape of hip hop. And we gonna be like, all that bullshit was garbage. All that, and that's coming from a space of love. I am the culture, but we just told ourselves some bullshit. All this running around doing all kind of lawlessness, that was all bullshit. That was bullshit. We shouldn't have been doing that. That ain't us. That's us trying to sell an outlaw, for lack of a better term. That's for us trying to sell an outlaw persona to people. We not outlaws. We not. We trying to sell a pimp lifestyle. We not pimps. I'm from a place with real pimps. We not pimps. Okay, but this is another soapbox. But I think we've been sold bullshit from day one. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right. We're gonna move off this real quick. We'll definitely keep y'all updated with the latest news and events that goes on with the trial as the days goes along. But I saw this on my Facebook today. I saw this on my timeline. I thought this was funny. I shared this with the group in our private chat. I saw this little meme going around, the 50 worst rappers. We're gonna touch on this briefly. We're not gonna go too in depth on it, but 50, you had 21 Savage, think that's
Yeah.
terrible. Logic, Tyga, YG, Memphis Bleak, Slim, I can't read that. Slim Jim, French Montana Plies, Chief Keef, Shorty Low, Flow Rider,
Ludacris.
Bow Wow, Designer, Cassidy, Ludacris, Freeway, Earl Sweatshirt, Chingy, Webby, Gouda Gouda, Tony Yayo, Makinen, Little Pump, Trinidad James, Iggy Azalea at 25. Uh, who's that? Damn, I can't. Bone Crusher. Damn, I can't. Birdman, Mike Jones, OJ Mako, Nick Cannon, Playboy Cardi, Riff Raff, Shaq, YFN Lucci, Ron Artest, Black Tie, Creation, Vanilla Ice, Maddie B, OJ the Juice Man, I-20, Little B, 50 Tyson, G Herbo, JoJo Simmons, Silk the Shaka, Stunner for Vegas, Little Yachty, Blueface, and Magoo. This list is kind of harsh, guys. I don't agree with none of
Hey,
it.
this was made. This list sound like a personal problem, really, for real.
Yeah,
To
it's
be
just a
honest with you,
personal problem. That's all.
I
I
believe
mean,
I agree with some of them, but I'm taking. Give me G Herbo back off this list. Give me Shaq back off this list too. And no disrespecting Shaq's rapping, man, for real. He can't. He don't deserve to be on the list
Take
of 50
Chief
worst
Keef off
rappers.
this list.
Chief Keef can stay. I ain't mad at the Chief Keef
Take
like that,
21.
but
Take
I'm taking
21.
Webby off of here. I'm taking Ludacris. I'm taking Freeway. I'm taking Cassie. I'm taking.
I'm taking
I like
Tyga off
French.
the list.
I like French, but I ain't gonna be mad at it. I mean, I like French songs, but if you're gonna no, you know what? Give me French and give me 21 off this list. The rest
I'm
of them can
taking
stay.
Let's keep it a buck. I'm taking Bow Wow off this list. Bow Wow can rap. Bow Wow
I
ain't
ain't mad
something.
at the Bow Wow either. Yeah,
My
and
my
you
whole
know what?
my
Give me.
whole thing is this, man. A lot of y'all don't even claim rappers. Y'all want to do the Jay-Z thing. Like if they ask you if you're a rapper, you're gonna say, "Oh, no, I'm not a rapper. I'm a gangster. I'm a hustler." Well, then if that's the case, then you're not even a rapper. And what I mean by that is like it's easy to get put in the trash category if you not even claiming you a rapper. Now that but that's just my own personal opinion. I would take Tiger off. I like Tiger slaps. Sorry, I know a lot of people don't rock with that. I think he makes slaps. Ludacris, I rock with Ludacris. Logic, I rock with Logic. Cassidy, I think Cassidy got bars. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these dudes, they would say there's something else. They would say that they just like street dudes. So if you a street dude, then you're not even a rapper. You a street dude that raps. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So
who would you put on the list? Who they missing?
who they
Who
missing?
they missing?
Uh,
Who they missing?
they got everybody. I mean, Lil Yachty was just on a song with with 2 Chainz. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm not here to downplay the whack rappers because again, I see that as a play too. I think a lot of the whack rappers is a play by the system trying to convince y'all that they the dope ones, trying to get the real dope dudes out the way. I think that's a play, but it is what it is. You know what
I
I'm
think they
saying?
got it.
Hey,
I think they got everybody on the list. I can't think of nobody. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Soup. I'm trying to think.
man, hey, look, y'all already know what I'm finna say.
West Side, you can't. West Side gun ain't on it.
Yes.
Come
I'm
on,
taking
man. Come
I'm
on.
taking G Herbo. G Herbo off, and Westside Gun can take that 7th spot right there for real. To be honest with you,
West
even
Side is
though, like I said, I like Egypt. I like a couple of his. Since I've been
West
paying attention a
Side.
little bit harder, and I've been so critical of him, I am starting to warm up to him a little bit more. But he definitely can be on this list still for real. Like, come on now, y'all. Come on now. Westside can make this list,
West Side
especially over a guy
fire.
like over Cassidy. How is Cassidy on this list?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I'm not really with the whole list thing. I'm not really on list because it implies that all of us agree to the same thing, and we don't. Like, so the list is like a list to me. We don't all
Super chat, Mad
agree on
Max,
lists. Like,
Bleak,
come on,
Cardi,
man.
Luda,
You know what I mean?
French. Let me get the super chat real quick. Bleak, Cardi, Luda, French, 21, Little B, Herb, and Keith. Not trash. Yeah, but I will say, she want to feel the pain. She want to know my name, Doggy and Froggy style. Come on, man. I'm sorry, man. I can see how my man is on this list, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm
hey,
sorry.
if I had to be honest with you too, I mean, I'm including Nelly on this list too. Nelly can get on this list too, for real.
Nelly, I'm gonna let Nelly live, man. I get it,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna let.
I'm taking Ludacris off, and I'm putting Nelly where they got
Because
Ludacris at.
Nelly did his thing out here, man. You know what I mean? He ain't the best rapper, but he does have little bars in that style. They're here and there, but sometimes he would have little slick stuff in that little style. And it's not a little style, but you know what I'm saying. He
I
has
don't
some
know
lines.
one. I don't know one Nelly quotable except for "good gracious
That's
asses
crazy.
bodacious." That's the only quotable I know from Nelly.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, if we're gonna start calling out worse rappers, that means that you like dope rappers. That's what I'm hearing. So if we do like dope rappers, I need to hear more talk about that in the culture. Because when those guys come along, is that things get real quiet. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no how y'all people ain't got much to say about the dope guys. So you know what I mean? Talk about them. You know what I mean? So
Hey,
that's
to
all.
keep it 100 too, you know who else out of order for being on this list too?
Yachty.
Vanilla Ice, man. Get Vanilla Ice off this list, man. We ain't gonna act like Vanilla Ice. I mean, I'm not gonna say that Vanilla Ice was like a dope rapper, but I mean,
He did
Ice Ice Baby, Ice Ice Baby is still a classic hip hop song, man. No matter how we wanna hate on it or whatever, man. He created a hip hop classic song. Ice Ice Baby is a hip hop classic. So I mean, I ain't gonna do him like that, man. Get Vanilla Ice off this list. He would
I
deserve to
mean,
be on here in other terms, but I mean, out of all
it's
of the guys out of all of the guys that we call them whack rappers on this list, he the only one with a classic hip hop song.
What about Danny Brown? Should Danny Brown be on this list?
not. Nah, I don't rock with Danny Brown, but Danny Brown has a dope style though because he created his own type of thing. If you create your own thing that only you do, I'm gonna respect it to some degree because you created something like you used your creativity. You know what I mean? You didn't copy. Like if you just copy what everyone else does, then it's whatever. But if you create your own thing, I'm gonna give it some kind of respect because you at least created your thing. You know
Well,
what I
well,
mean?
well. We need to put together our
I'm gonna
own
keep it a
list.
bean. I'm gonna keep
But-
it a bean. I'm gonna add one more while we just talking about it too, man. I'm gonna put be.
Right.
I'm taking Cassidy off. I'm taking Freeway off. Either one of them guys, and I'm putting You God on there too. You God can go on there,
Oh,
and I love You God.
I
Wu
rock with
Tang,
you.
but I'm
Wu
putting
Tang.
if we really making a real list. I mean, come on, man. You God is worse than G Herbo, 21, any of those guys. So You
I
God can go on
mean,
that list over those guys. If we
you
keeping
got
it a
had to
buck,
compete with
if we
you got
keeping
had
it a
to
bean.
compete with
you
you got
got.
with that. You know what I mean?
How about
Though as
How
much
about
as I
Jo?
talk
How about
about
Jo
bars,
Felony? How about Jo Felony?
I don't
I,
I never really listened to too much jail felony to really think about it in terms of that. You know what I mean? Because some people told me he was tight. I don't know. I never bought his albums, so
Yeah, but
I don't.
it's disrespectful to have Vanilla Ice on there when he's the only one on there with a hip hop classic. It's a little
They could
disrespectful.
they could
I
put
know
him
he's
on there
not.
though. They could put
That's
him
like putting
there.
MC
I
Hammer. You
mean,
couldn't have MC Hammer on this list, even though we know MC Hammer wasn't rapping like that. I mean, Vanilla Ice wasn't rapping like that. But Vanilla Ice
but
was dope for the moment. He got a hip hop classic song. Get Vanilla Ice off of that list, bro.
he did have a classic, but as much hoopla as I make about bars, people be giving me pushback. Like, nah, man, fuck bars. So it's like, pick a side. Like, either it's gonna be a lyrical skill or no lyrical skill, or some type of hybrid y'all want in the middle. But don't be giving me pushback on bars if y'all gonna call other people whack. Because if you had to push back on bars, I thought you liked these whack niggas. You know what I'm saying? I thought they was your mans in them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So come on.
I would take Earl Sweatshirt off the list too. Earl Sweatshirt is dope, man. I like some of his songs. I don't think he should be considered on the whack on a on a whack rapper list. Yeah, on a
Yeah, I
whack
wouldn't say
rapper
I mean,
list.
not an all time list. No, he's not. He ain't whack like that at all.
It's crazy,
And that's
crazy.
what I'm saying. Like, what would make somebody like they must have never heard a Cassidy freestyle? Like, what? Why would you put? I want to know why
That's
Cassidy
somebody's
would be
personal.
on
That's not
there.
like somebody's personal list to put that out there. It don't
yeah.
say.
I mean, if you don't like Cassidy's music, I feel like it's the same way I feel about Ludacris or Logic. Cassie, Ludacris, Logic, they make music for a certain type of person. If you don't like that, that's okay. Like Cassidy is obviously talking to a certain type of head. If you don't like that, that's okay. But the ones who do like that, normally the dudes that follow battles, that's all in the battle league, that's all about bars and punchlines, they like that stuff. So that's who Cassidy is talking to. So I'm with that. Like,
Where
you
was
know,
Playboy Cardi at? How come Playboy Cardi ain't make this list?
He's on the
shit, people
list.
was
He was on the
calling one.
list.
Oh, he was?
He was on the list. He
Okay.
was on
People
the
was
list.
just Cardi the one. They was like, Playboy Cardi is that dude. Y'all was just doing that last year. Not y'all, but people in the chat, people in the street. Y'all was telling me Playboy Cardi was that dude. Then when he dropped the album, you wanted to come back like, oh, you know, never mind what I said earlier about Playboy Cardi. I heard that album and it ain't really like, nah, stand by your man. Like that was your man. Don't leave him out there. That was your man. You know what I mean?
Hey,
So I'm
I'm going at it in the chat. I
and
seen
I'm
them when they going at it in the chat about Joey Bad or not Joey Badass, but Earl
Earl
Sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt.
Uh, Earl Sweatshirt. I would say that he's the he's the West Coast Joey Badass. If you want to say that, I mean he's on that same level. He's the West Coast version of a Joey Badass style of rapper. They in that same
type of
Well,
yeah, they in that
well,
same boat.
a step.
well, we'll come up with our own list. We'll come up with our own list. We'll come up with some people that we like because we don't want to come across as hating. We want to come across some
I don't
people that
want
feel us
to call
whack. I think it's funny. We'll come up with our own list. We'll have a conversation. But I want to get into this before we close the night out. I want to start doing a segment. We're going to start doing a segment where we talk about hip hop films, and each week we will find a hip hop movie and we will provide a review of it. I don't know who will be the reviewers. It could be Leroy and Super. It could be Servon and Mike. It could be myself. But I want to start incorporating the film aesthetic into our discussions. So each week, let us know in the chat what films we should start off with. I'm thinking about Juice. I'm thinking about maybe Beat Street, Wild Style. You know what I'm saying? We start off the series with a review and do this shit like Cisco and Ebert back in the day, or some new shit, hip hop Rotten Tomatoes, where we come up with a rating on these films. Uh, on a non-hip hop film level, I saw Mission Impossible, the last one that came out last year, a couple of years ago, because I had missed it, and that shit was dope. I mean,
The last Mission Impossible.
Dead Reckoning, where we was talking about the entity and a lot of subliminals in this film. We talking about AI and the all-powerful computer that can knows your steps, that's going to control the world. It's kind of dropping some kind of science if you read between the lines. I thought the film was dope. Tom Cruise did those own stunts. Excited about the new one that's about to drop. But what
No,
movie should
the
we
Mission
start off with?
Impossible is fire.
What
Mission
movie should we
Impossible
start
is
off with
fire.
as our review series? What should we start off with our first movie review?
I
As
mean,
far as hip hop movies
Hip hop
or
I want
movies.
just
people music. Have your music start sounding like movies. When we gonna get to that? You know what I mean? But what we should start off with, I don't know. We just talked about Sinners, and I still think it's stuff that could be found in there. But we just talked about that. But that's the level. Like if we gonna go movies, let's keep the standards around there. You know what I mean?
I would say one of my favorite hip hop movies that I remember really like watching and liking like that a lot that we probably could start at, even though it's not one of the first or anything. But Higher Learning, man, Higher Learning was dope. I like Higher
Classic.
Learning.
That's
I
one of
like
my
yeah,
favorite movies.
it's
That's
one
one
of
of
my
my
favorite.
favorite.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite hip hop movies.
If you
Busted.
internalize what that movie is about, we can't be going to court acting like they're gonna be fair. If y'all done seen Higher Learning, come on now. You know what country we in. Not to just country bash, but y'all be thinking they gonna say, good job, you're not guilty. Like we got no, they not gonna say that. You know what I mean?
Now when we talk about hip hop movies, I guess again, we got to say the criteria because we did this a year or so ago. They were saying that Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society weren't technically hip hop movies. I think they are. I think if it's part of the culture and it's got our folk in it, you know what I'm saying, our actors, our writers, our producers, our directors,
Yeah.
I consider that. I consider South Central. I think that out of all the LA movies, I think South Central was better than Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society. OG Bobby J. You know what I'm saying? That's my
It is those movies, but them movies leaned on one aspect of black life. They leaned on one aspect, so that played out a whole generation trying to be like Old Dog and and Kane and
But I think,
you
but
know
again, I said
didn't
I get the
show.
message of a father trying to save his son. I think South Central was the better movie, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah,
I think
they was
that
like the only movies. So yeah,
I
they
think
in there
Boys in
because
the
we.
Hood. I think Boys in the Hood is still like the most. It's still the best movie overall, just because of like the fatherhood role. South Central's does play a part in it too, and just like the how black men being in prison, how it can affect the way your child is being raised, and the way that the how they honed in on the pretty much the importance of having your father around and making sure you're raising your own kids. Otherwise, the streets gonna raise them. That was a great point from South Central in the movie. But I think Boys in the Hood covers that too, and it covers like a lot more of the aspects of like gang culture, sibling rivalries, parenting, stepfathers, or what I mean, just how Cuba Gooding Jr. and Lawrence Fishburne, how went to live with his dad because he got into a fight at school. Like I just think that the movie is just a little bit deeper, more layered than South Central, even though I do love South Central too, though.
No doubt, no
Yeah,
doubt.
if
Well,
y'all can
well,
find this movie, if y'all can find this movie called Black and White with Raekwon and Mike Tyson,
I remember
go
that
watch
too.
that. Go watch
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's two different realms. We got to stop thinking that we are the same as them. Like nah, we a little. They look at us a little bit different. So these movies like Higher Learning, Black or White, Sinners, they speak to that. You know what I mean? But Malcolm X is the GOAT black movie, and that because that just had an anniversary, or something a few days ago. But Malcolm X is the GOAT black movie. Okay, it's the GOAT. But
It's one of my
whatever
favorite
y'all
movies of
like,
all time. It's definitely
come
one of
on.
my favorite movies of all
yeah,
time.
one of my favorite movies, one of my
Spike Lee
favorite
said
Spike Lee joints too.
he said he said Denzel just turned into Malcolm, like he was really Malcolm, like and he was. If you watch the movie, like that man is really Malcolm, like you take your role
Hey,
super. You know what I mean?
hip hop got a chance to really get back into the movies now too. I mean, I think we got a couple artists
Oh
out
yeah,
here. Like I think even though I might give her a little bit of pushback every now and then, but I think Dolce would be pretty dope in a movie. I think that I could see her acting. I think
I'm
Kendrick will be
taping for
pretty.
Dochi now because everyone's going at
I can
Dochi
almost
head.
see Kendrick Lamar almost making like a poetic justice type of movie. You know what I
Now
mean?
he's
Like I can
making a
see
movie though. He
almost.
making a movie though with the guys from South Park. He making a movie though, like a comedy.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the whole thing about this is like we should be making the movies, and there is some pushback to Dochi right now because she's bringing theater aesthetics into the music. But after we done did everything already, why not bring new elements in? You know what I mean? Why not? That's a harder element to make your music sound like a movie. That's why I think Master Ace is one of the best rappers of all time. Because when I put on his album, should be sounding like a movie. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, let's really go there, man. So I'm caping for Dochi now because I wasn't before, but now a lot of y'all out there in YouTube land done made me mad because you going at her head like she not supposed to be here. Like I'm caping now. Just let her rock, man. I'm not even listening to her music, but let her rock. Like
Hey,
No
yeah,
doubt.
Mad Max. Just real quick. Hey, I see what you're saying about Sinners, Max. If you heard me talk about it, that show, you kind of seeing what I was seeing about the movie
but what?
itself. I think
What do you
I
say?
thought
What do you
I
say?
thought Sinners was dope. I mean, he's just saying that it don't have no real major plot. I think
What
that
you
they could have.
mean?
It don't. That
It's
it's all
about
over
the
the place. It's
vampires.
kind of all over the place with the plot of the movie. I think it's a little bit
Come
all
on.
over the place a little
Mad
bit.
Max, stop. But you know Mad Max say anything, respectfully. You can't see no plot in the beginning, middle, and end. You can't see no storyline, Mad Max.
I just
What are
think
we
that the
doing?
story, like the story, turns into it turns. Like I said, they go into the musical aspect with the guitar. They go into the vampires. They go into the
Right. It's
clan
about
aspect.
vulturism.
But nothing feels complete after you watch the movie for me. I don't feel like nothing is completed. Like I don't feel like the story is completed. I don't feel like we knew enough about the vampires or why, or I don't feel like we dug deep
Mad Max,
enough into.
you don't
We
want to
didn't
see
dig
it.
deep. We didn't even dig deep enough into him having this power to like do this with this music. Like they didn't dig
But,
deep enough to me, and I just think that they just left
but
a
what
little
you mean?
bit
Like
on the table.
where
You know what I
where
mean?
he
Like
has the power from? where
Yeah,
he gets the
where
power
did he
from?
get this power from? Where did he get this power from to even do this? And then, like I
You
said, like they didn't dig deep enough into that aspect of the story. You know what I'm saying?
if
Like
you
I just
see a
don't think that
real
they did.
artist, if you see a
Hey,
real
hey, hey,
artist,
hey,
if you
Leroy,
see
before you go, how long y'all want to cook on this? Because I'm gonna go. I need to take a break. But if y'all want to cook on this for 10, 15 more minutes, I can go and come back, or we can end the
go and
show.
come back, go and come back. I got it. Go and come back. But as an artist, right? You know, if you see me get in a zone rapping, you gonna swear that oh, I done caught the Holy Ghost. You gonna see that something is not quite me no more. Cause I can just keep going until it gets to like, bro, he's still rapping. So it's like I'm not the only one that could do that. It's a bunch of people. Once they really get in a zone, you'll be like, that's not them no more. They on something else. They done caught a Holy Ghost in here. That's what the character represent. We take music to levels to where it's not even calculable no more. To levels that's
Leroy, I get you
you feel
saying
what I'm
that, and that's
saying?
I get you saying that, but I'm saying the movie itself didn't really explain like a lot of that. And I agree with you, Mad Max. The plot changed like 4 times. That movie could have been a movie strictly based on the music and the power of the music. The movie could have
But
been strictly based on it could have been strictly based on the vampires. It could have been strictly
okay,
based on the clan trying to set them up, but to me, they just
but
never totally grasped. Like they never totally grasped
okay.
one subject. Like you know what I mean? Like even with the Indians,
But
like
that's
it's been long enough. So hey, this is spoiler. So if you ain't seen it, get up out of here. Like for real. So we
they
gonna
saw
talk about it
it.
because you should have been
They
seeing this shit by now if you
yeah,
haven't.
you could have
Just because you know what I mean. So if you
come
ain't
on.
seen it, too bad. We about to ruin the
But
movie for you a little bit.
I
But
don't know.
like
It sounds like
The
what you're
Indian
saying.
parts, the Indians, right?
Okay,
With the
okay,
vampires. I would have
yeah,
loved to see more of that
right,
storyline. I would have loved to see a little bit more, even
right.
about the vampire, where he came from, why they chasing him, what's going on, where he come
What you
from.
mean, like the main bad guy,
Yeah, the
Remit or
main
whatever?
vampire, like you know what I mean. Like if they,
Right,
I would have loved for them to go. If I
right,
would have loved for them, if they would have just make it a strictly a straight up vampire movie, that would have been
right.
fine. But all of the little twists and turns of, like I said, the music part at the end of the day kind of was almost for nothing. Like really, to be honest with
What
you,
you mean? Like, oh, come
I mean,
on,
because
man. I don't get
the
it,
vamp.
man.
Listen, the vampire
Come on.
was coming anyway, right? The vampire was coming because the Indians was
Yeah,
chasing him.
but
The
for the
music, the
music,
music didn't summon him to town to where those people lived at. The music didn't summon him. The music had nothing to do with it.
but
Them opening up the
it
jukebox,
summoned him to the juke joint though. It summoned
they
him to
was
the juke
around the
joint.
corner already. They was around the corner at the people
But he
house. Where
said that he was coming for the music. Like he said that.
Well,
He said
he eventually said that eventually, but I'm saying it really didn't have no tie into really why the vampires was in town.
I got you.
You know what I mean? The
Oh,
vampires
but look
came.
at it like this. Look at it like this, man. I think y'all are saying that because there's so many different storylines involved, that there's not just one major storyline. But that's to be expected when you're dealing with this type of movie. It's a lot going on. You know, the bad guy, he fell into out the sky on the ground at the beginning. So that represented to me like the devil, like the fallen angel. Because
Well, no, he
how
didn't
you just
fall out the sky. You
how
know, he
you
was
drop out the
jumping.
sky,
He was jumping. You know, because he can jump far.
but
Like
jump from where?
remember in the movie where he remember because he that's
Oh,
just how he
you're
was
right.
getting away.
I know.
Yeah,
Right, right,
so
right.
that's just how he
But
was getting away.
it looked like he fell out the sky just from the how it looked. Like he just how you just dropping down. Where the hell you dropping down from? You know, there's nothing like where did you jump from? Like so it looked like
Yeah.
he just fell out the sky. So that reminded me of the devil story right there. So I'm looking at this person like a devilish person. Then you got the Indians, right? But they represent the unknown to me, right? So it's like what their belief system is still unknown. Shit, our belief system is still unknown. We do not know what our original belief system was to this day, because we there's where did you find that at? So what I'm saying is they represent the unknown. Like they were literally chasing the vampire. So whatever belief system they had, it goes back because they already were
I
aware of
mean,
this person.
maybe the same thing happened to them last night that happened at the juke
That's what I'm
joint, and
saying. So yeah,
he went
that
to the
possibility
powwow, and
right there.
you know what I mean. And they had to chase him. They had to chase him. They was trying to kill him.
Right.
He was running from them. You know what I mean. And
But
they,
look,
you know,
even
it
in
is
our
what it
music,
is. But
right? in our music, right? When we go kick it around our people, right? When we really kicking it with our friends and family, it's not a real representation of what we hear in the music. In the music, we hearing a whole bunch of gangsterism 24/7. What that implies to me is somebody is putting that music out for our consumption. Somebody has colonized the music and putting that in our face 24/7. Because that's not our life 24/7. That's a small portion of it. You know what I mean? So this vulturism, like they was vulturing off black music. That's why they showed up. Their music was not didn't have that much sauce. It had a little bit of sauce. It had a because he did the little folk music, Irish folk music. It had a little bit of sauce, but it didn't have the sauce that we got. And that's what summoned them there. That's why you want to play with us. You want to play, you want to use our, you want to get the sauce. So that's what it was saying because it's true that they do want the sauce.
I get all the aspects of the movie, and I still enjoyed the movie, and I think it was a good movie all around. But like I said, for the movie to be so long, it's like 2.5 hours or so, almost 2 hours and 15 minutes. And for the movie to be so long, I still came away from it like, damn, I wish I would, like, I just wish I would have knew a little bit more. I wish they would have put it together a little bit better. I wish they would have told the story a
They,
little bit where you get
they could
some, just some type of conclusion. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I got so many questions, which is a good thing. It's always good
right.
to leave a movie with questions, but at the same time,
I'm
like
just
I said, I mean, it kind of leaves you slightly unsatisfied with thinking about like how the movie could have actually been had they really kind of focused on one thing or another a
right.
little bit, like
And
tying the stories, then having
yeah.
so much into the story and then not completely completing the idea of none of it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they didn't complete the idea of any part of the story.
Well, I think that with us, to complete a story about us, it would start to get crazy because we're such an ancient people. How many stories we got? Like, and to be honest with you, all of our famous stories, whether it be vampirism, dragon slayer, werewolf, all whatever, all of that is our stories that we already made up. But it's just that we don't know that because we need the proof. You need me to lay out for you. Here is the proof. Boom. Da 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 da. This is the ancient papyrus where you could see the vampire story is right here, and this is what they took. But people not gonna believe that until I actually show it in front of you. But what I'm saying is that story was 10,000 years ago. So imagine how many stories we got to cover. And it's like that's why it's open ended in my book because we dealing with a lot. When it come to black folks, we dealing with a lot. We get this much of our history, like
Can you can
1%.
you see the can
The
you see
other
the
90.
super chat?
The super chat, yeah, yeah. Want me to read? Mad Max, sinners had no plot. Told us Christianity is a white man religion and that black people are witches and no character has a fleshed out story. Okay, Mad Max, but the fleshed out story they do because they explain what cities they were from. They explain their background. You could kind of see the setting of the time period. So you kind of know what time period is. Now when we get into the Christianity thing, it's going to get sensitive. If you believe in that and subscribe to that, then it's going to be sensitive when I start telling you that white people rep that flag because you don't want to hear that. You don't want to, but if I actually
To
go
be
back
honest
in
with you,
time,
I don't
I
think
could
that he was
show
really.
you that white people represent that. They actually was carrying that on their shields and their flags. They had the cross, they had the crown, they had they were rep that. That's their thing. It just is. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
I get what he trying to say though. I get what Mad Max saying. Like they tried to downplay Christianity and then they big up like doing voodoo and doing this the hoodoo or whatever. You know what I mean? But
But what
but
part
at the
did they
same time,
downplay?
hold on,
What part
they
did they
did.
downplay?
They
You
downplayed it
understand?
when he was when the old man was in the car walking back with them and acting like like pretty much that Christianity or the Bible came from white people, which like I said, we if anybody has any true knowledge on this subject, we know that the Bible was there before the Romans converted to this religion. We know that it's already was a black book. So even thinking that Christianity or the Bible is a white man's book is kind of just it's goofy thinking, even though we know that they captured it
Is
and
it?
did some things. We know that they
What you're
captured it. They took the
okay,
writings. They took these books from black culture, from a black
but
religion, from
y'all don't rep the original source. Black folks do not rep the original source. You represent their source. If because you have the original source in writing. If you
well
wanted
the
that, you
source.
would present that. But you never
But
black folks never present that. You only
either
present
way,
their
either way,
version.
either way though. Back to my point of why even saying that, I don't think it was actually even really disrespectful to it. I just think that it was just showing that pretty much neither side of it was working based on how they was applying it either anyway to their life. The hoodoo didn't do them no good. The shit, the lady knowing and doing
It,
all this
it,
shit
it
and them
did.
wearing them, no, it
It
didn't.
did.
No, it didn't. That's
He
just her
survived the
saying that.
war.
It did.
He
It did.
survived. He was. Oh man,
That's just
and he
her
was.
saying that we can't you can't say that he survived that war because of that thing around his neck. That's
Yeah,
not.
but yes, I can though.
No, you
But what I'm
can't,
saying,
bro. That's not. That's
yes, I
not even what it
can.
was
What are we
saying.
talking
That's
about?
not,
He was alive. But
bro. That's
super.
not what it's.
We talk about witches. How many of y'all have actually read the trials where people were put on trial for being witches? How many people? Mad Max, have you read those trials? Have you read the black women that were accused of being witches and sentenced to death for being witches? Have you read their trials? So what are you? So what we're assuming? Oh, they must have just been evil witches, but you never read their paperwork and what they went to trial for it.
I'm not even
You would
really
see that.
applying. I'm not
You
even
would
really
see
talking
that it
about
was
whether
bullshit.
for Leroy. That's not even really my point. My point is neither
What's wrong?
one, that shit didn't work for them in the end when it came down to the
He
vampires.
clapped
It
down
didn't.
all the KKK. He clapped them all down and was reunited on the
Neither
other
one
side
of them worked with
with
him.
his wife and his baby. That's
Yeah, but he
beautiful to
still.
me.
I mean, he still died. You know what I mean? So all of that
I
was
know,
like
but has it's been
neither one
400
of them
years.
worked. Is basically what I'm
But
trying to
when
say. Like
Jesus has not
them
come
being.
back in Jesus has not come back in 2000 years and we're still waiting. Now granted, that sounds disrespectful, but the first thing black people are going to say is Jesus has worked because I he comes to my house all the time. I'd be like, "Well, can I meet him?" Then y'all give me a runaround about how it's metaphorical. But what I'm saying is if we're going to say the hoodoo didn't work and we get caught up in terms, take the terms out. Hoodoo, Christianity, Islam. Take all these terms out, right? And then start going back and figure out what your people was doing. You're gonna go back far enough to it's gonna be a time to where before we had Bibles. Now then, so what was we doing then? If we had
Yeah,
no
either
Bible.
way, man. Like I said, the Bible points a lot of that out. And like I said, I'm not even really trying to have a religious conversation about that. I'm just saying that either way,
Sensitive.
the way that those people were even applying Christianity to their life, and the way that whatever she thought she was doing with the hoodoo shit, neither one of them worked for them. It didn't protect them at all when it came down to
It
the
it
presence
it
of the
it
evil.
did though.
It
It
did.
did.
No, it didn't. That lady,
We can't say what it
Leroy,
did. Like
then
can't say it didn't
why
protect
did the voodoo lady die if it was such if it was such protection? Why
because
did
she
she
got
die?
bit by a vampire. She
Exactly.
got
So
bit by
that's
a
the
vampire.
point. It didn't protect them from that for real when it came down to it.
Did
Like when it came down to it,
Christianity protected them from the devil? The
no,
devil
it
is
didn't.
literally
Neither
the
one of them
devil is an
protected it.
angel. The devil is a
Neither one.
high-ranking angel, bro.
But that's my
The
point.
devil
Neither one of
is
them
a
protected them the way that they
high-ranking
was applying it
angel.
to their life. Neither one protected them. Is what basically what
The,
I'm
the,
Let
saying.
me.
the Bible definitely didn't. And again, the devil is a high-ranking angel. Let's all internalize that.
He
You know
wasn't
what
the
I'm saying?
devil. He was a vampire, bro. He was a vampire. He wasn't the devil.
Let
Come
me get the
on, man.
super chat real quick. Man Master super chat says sinners had no plot, told us Christianity is
I
a
read
white
that
man
part.
religion and that black people are witches and no character has a fleshed out story. Lord Vachai with the super chat says hoodoo is FBA culture. Do some research, get to know yourself.
Take the hoodoo out though. Hoodoo represents you going into yourself to find an answer. So when you take the word hoodoo out, do we go in ourselves to find an answer? And it's root work, meaning they use the roots. But you eating roots and you eating fruits and vegetables. What do you think you're doing? But we're getting caught up in terms, but it is sensitive, and that's why I don't even want to go there. But as far as the white part aspect, I could show you how white folks definitely represent Christianity, and they went to war over it. They went to war for 2,000 years, banging it. So if you
Yeah, but
saying
they
that's not
stole
their
it. They
religion,
stole it
nigga, they
regardless. They
bang
stole
on
it from black
Christianity.
people, bro. They still
They
stole
bang
it.
on that. They
They
bang for
stole it.
that. They
They
bang
stole it.
on that. But
They were
Christianity for us, Christianity,
before they was Roman Catholics,
they
Leroy. Yeah, you
bang
know
on. We
this.
don't bang on that.
They was Greek
We don't bang on
mythologists.
that.
They were Greek
Christianity is one.
mythologists, man. They was
Christianity is
worshiping
one of our
Zeus.
books.
They was
He
worshiping
had
Zeus and the
he
stars.
had
They
thousands of
so if
books.
we're gonna be
That's
smart about
one.
this, you got to go
That's
back and
one
do
book.
more
We had
research on this, bro.
thousands.
It's common sense that the Romans
Not.
have nothing
It's
to
not.
do with the Bible other than translating it
I could
because it's
show you that. I
documented.
could show you
They
them. I could literally show you how these
I think
book,
you just
how these
arguing right
guys,
now, man.
these are
And you know
English
what I'm
names.
saying is the truth,
John,
man. They
John,
took over
Daniel.
a religion.
I could
They
show
took
you
over a
facts.
religion.
I could
They
come
didn't
on.
make it
Y'all
up.
saying I can't show you facts. Like I can show you literal facts. I can show you how they bang for that. You could say they stole it. Well, if they stole it, then it means it's theirs. If they stole it, then it's theirs. Yes, we could say, well, we started it first, but that's just a small fragment. That one piece that y'all think is our only book, we have so many that y'all standing on that one fragment that they edited and dissected. And I love the Bible. I love what y'all saying, but you only stand on that one book. How come you don't stand on all our other books? How come y'all don't
You know
stand?
why people don't
How
stand
come
on
y'all
it?
don't stand
You
on
know
that?
why? Because the Bible points out the
Especially when they
wickedness.
using our
The
stuff.
Bible points out the wickedness in other religions. So when you found it and you rooted and you have a grasp and understanding
So
of what
you
the Bible
believe
say,
what's you believe
let
that.
me finish talking, bro. Let me just say it. When you have an understanding and you rooted on the principles of the Bible and what the Bible say, there's no need for that other stuff out there. You don't. There's no need to go find out what hoodoo do when the Bible already tells you that practicing witchcraft is
Bro,
bad
we've been around for
and you know what I mean. Like it's already
100,000
there
years,
already for you. So there's no
and
need
one book
if
has
you
encapsulated us.
if you are a Christian or someone who believes in the Bible, there is no need for nothing else. I don't need to go
I
study
want
anything else because
everybody,
I'm founded. I'm already deeply rooted in what I believe in. There's no need for me to go somewhere else
but
to another book.
that's you're saying only one book has the answer for everything, and that's your belief. That's your belief. That's why it's sensitive. But I'm saying just as a matter of us being around documented for 100,000 years. If you think that book has our story of 100,000 years in that book, I don't know what to tell you. Like, because that would be impossible. That and why do we pick that? If we have all this history, and then when you go back in our history, you obviously see that we already had these stories, but you taking it because you got it co-signed from them, so you taking it as law when we got all this other stuff going back 100,000 years. That's I just don't get it.
Hey,
I
but back to
just
the subject
get it.
of the movie, though. I don't really look at sinners as being actually disrespectful to Christianity, but I do think that it did. You know, it kind of tried to downplay it and put it off and push it off as it being some type of white man's creation or white man's book or white man's something. When, like I said, if you have any sense and you have
They
any
bang on that.
understanding of even what the Bible is, if if you have any sense of any
I'm
understanding
saying
of what the Bible is, then you shouldn't.
let's go
It
into a
just don't
white
even
church.
make sense to even be
Let's
saying
go to
that
a white church.
anymore. It just don't even make sense to even
Let's
be
go
saying
to a
that
white
anymore. That's
church
all I'm really saying.
and ask them, do y'all bang on this? Let's go to a white church and ask them, do you believe in this? And the white church is going to tell you yes. So if you a black man and that person is a white man and y'all believe in the same thing, you believe in the same text, then you go back and you find them going to war with y'all and you believe in the same thing. That makes sense that y'all just happen to believe in the same thing. I mean, I get it, and I understand we don't want to be hurt by the fact that
I think that
we could have been deceived. What if we were deceived by them? That's what I'm saying. Like, what if that happened? Then that would be a different
I think
story.
that the undertone of the story really is too just about being hypocritical too, just being hypocrites at the same time.
But the
like
other
all most of
religions
the
don't
people.
hate Christianity. They
I'm not
don't.
talking about religions no more, man. I'm not. I'm talking about sinners. I'm not even going down that road with that because, like I said, it's not. I don't think that the religious aspect of the movie isn't even really that deep. I don't really think it's that deep or that seriously a part of the movie. Really, it's just a part where the man says what he says about where they get the Bible from. I mean, it's not. I don't think that it's not deep into it, but it does. It downplays the Bible and then it uplifts the root work and the voodoo hoodoo stuff. So that's I get
Of course, if
what
you,
Mad Max
of course,
I
though.
get what he's saying on that aspect of it. as far as that. But the movie in itself, I don't look at the movie as a movie that's being disrespectful, period, to religious people or people of faith. I just think that it's pointing out that people are hypocrites even within this, like even within your Christian religion, even within your hoodoo faith or whatever. You still a hypocrite, and so you're not even getting all of
That's
the
not even
power
a
that you could
faith.
be getting.
That's
You,
not
you
even a
you're not even
faith.
getting all of the benefits from it anyway. Because for one, like I said,
I'm
his daddy
saying
was telling him, his daddy's a preacher, telling him don't even go down there to the juke joint. You know what I mean? Like that's not the place for
people
for a Christian person or whatever. You know, so I don't know, man.
people
But
want to know where
it's not that deep of a
people want to
religious
know
thing. So
where
people
books
that's
come
out there,
from, but
you
they
know,
can literally
I,
go find out. Do you know that you could go to your library right now and find out exactly where your books come from, your holy books? You could literally go find out. So that's what I'm saying. Like people be like, "Well, it came from there, so it came from that." Don't believe me. Take yourself down to your local library, and you can literally find out where your books came from. Literally, they will give you names, dates, people who actually wrote it. So what are we talking about? You know what I mean? You could find that out to where you don't even gotta believe me no more. You could just find out on your own. And that's what we don't want to do because we don't want to feel the pain of what it's gonna feel like when you find out that human men were writing this, it's gonna hurt your feelings. But I'm just saying I'd rather that than to keep acting like this stuff is not real. We shouldn't be religion banging at all because if you're saying that they stole it from us, well then what are we banging on then? If they but when we say it's their stuff, they're banging on that. When you go into any white society, they're gonna tell you, look, everything you think is bullshit. This is what we believe, and we're gonna bang on you about it. So they're gonna take it to that level. So it gotta be theirs. They banging. We're not banging on it. We're not gonna bang over. We'll put it down and say we cool. We don't want no problems.
I
They
don't even
they're
know what
gonna
you really. I don't know what you're talking
they're
about.
gonna
Like I said,
bang on it.
I'm not looking at this as a Christian conversation or a biblical
I'm just saying,
conversation
y'all.
because
Mad Max brought it up,
I
and
don't
you
think
kind
that
of
the movie.
co-signed.
But I get what he's saying because they do that. That is a part in the movie. They actually do that in the
I'm
movie.
saying,
I mean,
but
that is what they do.
did y'all go look into hoodoo since that? And I'm not saying it's just about hoodoo. It's just about telling you that there must have been something we were doing before then. Now, if you say, well, it didn't save you, it didn't do that. We have civilizations that lasted 10,000 years. How long is 10,000 years? You think in 2,000 years is like some great thing, and I understand that. We have things that didn't fall for 10,000 years that were global. But I'm not saying it's about protect this or protect that because all things will go up and fall. That's all things. That's just how life works. All things go up and they come down. So thinking that your text will be the everlasting shield against negativity, that's just not a realistic thing.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, we had our impromptu first movie review of Sinners. We're gonna do more of this. Let us know in the chat which hip hop films we need to cover. I think we might do Juice. We might do Boys in the Hood. We're gonna do every one. Every week we're gonna have a new movie review. We're gonna bring the Tubi movie review back. If y'all haven't seen The Lawnmower Man, check out The Lawnmower Man on Tubi. We're gonna bring the Tubi movie review back. And we're gonna have a good time and bring the hip hop film element back to the conversation. We got one more topic of the night. I forgot to bring it up.
Magi, Mad Max.
Snoop,
Magic
Snoop,
magi is the root word.
Snoop has been on a tour promoting his new album. The conversation, him DJing for the crypto ball in DC has come up. I think he was asked about it on the Breakfast Club, I believe, maybe on Ebro in the morning. A lot of people have been coming at him for his decision to perform for the 47th president, Donald Trump of the United States. And I would just say I don't think Snoop owes anybody an explanation. I think when you get asked to do a show, you do the show. That's part of his business. And I don't want to speak on his business, but I think anytime you get asked to perform, especially if it lines up with your schedule and you feel like you want to do it, I don't think he owes anybody explanation. It was a performance. It was a DJ gig for the crypto ball. If you know anything about Washington D.C., at these parties, a lot of business is done. So it could be a business play, or regardless, he may even be a supporter of the president. Who knows? But that's his personal
Funny how
business.
nobody
Uh,
wants to stand on that.
that's
Nobody,
that's
no,
his
not
personal.
just
Let me
Snoop.
finish. Let me finish.
Nobody's going to
Let
stand
me
on
let
that
me
hill.
finish. That's his
None of
personal
y'all niggas.
business. That's his personal business, and I believe
None of you niggas.
we shouldn't hold anything against him for doing that. I think the conversation, and I don't think Ebro would be pressing Snoop had he performed for any other type of politician that was not President Trump. So I just think
Snoop
it's this
wants to
is
bang. Snoop said we could bang over it. So if we're gonna bang, I would hate for it to go that way because I love Snoop, but Snoop is willing to bang on it.
it's I don't think it's anything to
So
bang on. I don't think it's anything to bang on. He made a decision
I'm making a point. I'm making a point. But whenever we go to well f y'all niggas and we could bang on it, that energy implies that what you standing on, it kind of creates dissension. Now, again, I love Snoop. So at the end of the day, when it comes to Snoop, I'm just gonna fall in line because I actually got love for Snoop. And I don't care what happens after that. You know what I mean? Because Snoop has paid his reparations to us. So it's different. He pays reparations to us. Meaning he puts money out his pocket back into black people's hands. So that's reparations. So I'm not gonna go against that. But it's funny though, because niggas not don't if niggas want to bang, not Snoop now, but if anything that you really feel anything you really feel strongly about, really bang on it then. Put a MAGA hat on. Bang for Trump. Don't halfway it. Go all the way. And see, nobody's going to do that. You know why you're not going to do that? Because something in your spirit tells you that you probably shouldn't be doing that. That's why you're not gonna go that far. Now, Snoop, again, we love you. Snoop, you said yourself that you wasn't the most versed on politics. So we gonna show you grace. Even if you were versed on it, we still gonna show you grace because again, you Snoop Dogg. But when you brought up the fact that, well, F anybody who got a problem and it is what it is, and we could go to this, that, and the third, the reason why you have that energy is because something lets you know that that wasn't the move. Now, technically, Trump wasn't even there. That's another point that so
I,
technically
I'm
this
I'm
ain't
gonna be
even
honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't I don't give a damn about that shit with Snoop at all. I don't care nothing about Snoop performing for Trump. I think that's a low ball question for Snoop really at this point. I think it's really like the real discussion. If you're gonna really be serious about asking Snoop some questions and give him an interview, you should be asking him about why the hell he never talked to that bodyguard that took that case for him. I think that's a more pressing question. I think it's another pressing question is why did he feel the need to even own death row? I mean, when
the Suge
he
is a
started,
sucker. He said Suge is a sucker.
Suge Knight built Death Row, and Snoop built Doggy Style Records. He could have resurrected Doggy Style Records, and
But
been putting out this shit that he been
Suge
doing.
wants a
I
problem
think it's more
Suge
pressing
wants
questions to
problems
be
with
asking
Snoop.
Snoop right now than to be asking him about Donald Trump. Like I said, this man took a case for you, pretty
No.
much
But
beat
Suge wants a
the
problem
man
with
beat a
Snoop.
murder the man beat a murder
Suge
for
wants
you,
a problem.
and he never talked to this man, never hit his hand, never gave the man no money, and he took a case
What was he
for
supposed to
Snoop
say? What was he supposed to say? Or what was he supposed to do?
without that bodyguard taking that case for Snoop, we
We
wouldn't
don't
even
know
be
that.
talking about Snoop right now. We wouldn't even be
We don't
talking
know
about,
that.
he would have been in jail. He would have been in jail.
We don't know that.
And
But
so
again,
For Snoop not to
we
hit that man hand and give him some money,
for
or at
what?
least shake his hand and tell him thank you,
That's
like
assuming the streets is fair
I
again.
think that's a more
We
important
assuming the
question
streets
that
is fair
anybody should be asking Snoop than to be asking him about how people feel about him performing for Donald Trump.
because
I think who
they'll hit him with
cares
a
now?
recall. First of all, only thing Ebro was trying to say is, do you understand why black folks kind of don't rock with Donald Trump? That's the only
But
question.
I don't think that's
He
true.
wasn't
That's not
he
even
wasn't
true.
saying he wasn't. Well, I could tell you, it's a lot of black folks that don't rock with that dude, man. That's a fact. I know a lot. But what Ebro was saying is, can you see why someone that is showing signs that they are against our culture, you erasing Jackie Robinson off the books, you going after, you firing DEI left and right off the fact that they have black skin? Do you see why we don't rock with that? Do you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing he was saying. Again, and we love Snoop. As far as Suge goes, Suge wants a problem with Snoop. He been saying he wants to smoke with Suge. He wants to smoke with Snoop. So Snoop is like, well, where do you want me to go if you want smoke? That's why he addresses Suge in a certain way, because Suge brings that energy like that. But as far as whatever happened in the case and all that, this we I could tell you Snoop's lawyers were probably like, bro, you got found not guilty. You should probably go live your life. That's what his lawyers probably told him to do. So that's what he does. And I don't blame him for doing that. You don't get found not guilty and then go back to the street. They said, nah, you should probably go live your life. So that's what he did. But again, this is coming from love. And Ebro, I believe, was trying to explain to Snoop, even though you don't see why there's a problem here, can you see why maybe people could think that's a problem? That's all he was saying. That's all.
Yeah,
Uh,
again, I still don't see. I wouldn't see. I don't see how people can see it's a problem. It was a performance
it
at
ain't
the
no
crypto
performance.
ball, and I don't think he owes anybody an explanation how he goes about his business. It is what it
You couldn't
is.
give us one even if you wanted to. There's nothing he could say that would make that cool to nobody. I mean, to one side of the country, yeah, but there's nothing you could say. Again, this is love. But if Snoop is what Snoop's going to try to say is,
My
well,
business is my business. My business is my business.
no,
That's it.
no, what he said. Okay, so you banging then, because that shows that you want to be aggressive.
No, that's it.
That's what I'm saying. You want to be
That's not an
aggressive. If
aggressive. That's
your
not an
business is
aggressive
your business,
statement. My business is my
so you want to
business.
be aggressive.
That's not an
That's
aggressive
all,
statement.
and
My
that's
business
cool.
and how I go about my business
Okay,
is my business. That's not an aggressive statement. That's a
I'm
matter of
saying
fact.
that's okay.
That's a
So
matter of
you want to
fact.
be aggressive. You
That's
want
not
to be
an aggressive
aggressive.
statement, and that's a matter of
You want to
fact.
be aggressive.
That's not
If
an
you
aggressive
don't,
statement.
if Snoop, you want this issue, right? And again, Snoop, I'm gonna assume that when black people are talking to you, that you really know it's really love. See, I'm hoping that you know that. Maybe you think it's real hate. So I'm gonna take that back because maybe you think black people really have a hatred towards you. But really, Snoop, it's love. That's why they're asking you the question. So when you say my business is my business, it you could say it's not aggressive, but we know where we from. We know where we from. That's all. But it don't have to be aggressive. But the reason why there is no explanation because what you gonna tell us? What you're gonna tell us is, well, I went and got some money to bring back from the hood. So we applaud that. But the only part of that is, I wish that Donald Trump had some video footage of him in the hood doing, putting money in the hood. If you're saying that's what he does, I wish that he was with you and y'all was in Long Beach and we could see y'all putting money in the hood because that would have made it more like, oh, we see y'all. That's all I'm saying. And again, Snoop, this is love, but all this like my business is my business, that's cool. I'm not going to take it aggressive from you, but if somebody else, if a white dude came out here and said, if black people asked him a political question, and white dude was like, my business is my business, the black folks are going to take it as, oh, you want to be aggressive. That's all. We take it as love from you because you're Snoop and we are us. It's love. But if Donald Trump came out here and said my business is my business, we're like, Donald wants to be aggressive. That's all. We taking it cool because it's you. It's love for you. That's really what it is. You know what I mean?
All right, I'm back for just to close this out. It's gonna probably die again, but I mean, like I said, I get the Snoop questioning, and but at this point, I mean, Donald Trump is president. That shit is old news, and there's more pressing issues and topics to be talking to Snoop about right now. And like I said, I think like for one, like I said, the story about the bodyguard that took that case with Snoop, man. I think people ask Snoop them type of questions.
That's
Stop
not a
asking him.
good question.
It's not
That
a good.
that's
It's not. It's an uncomfortable question for Snoop to have to answer. So if you want, if
that's
you call yourself
assuming
trying
that
to
people
hold,
tell the truth.
if you're trying to hold Snoop's feet to the fire, don't ask him about performing for
Well, go
Donald Trump.
ahead.
Ask him about doing that to the bodyguard that took the case. Is all I'm really
That's
saying. Like ask him a
assuming that
real
that's
question.
true. That's assuming that's true.
And
And
the
that
bodyguard out,
information,
he just did a full. He just did a
that
full
that's
interview.
assuming that's true.
He
But
just did a
but
full
super,
interview.
super, if I hire you to be a bodyguard and something goes down and it goes to a court issue and the issue goes all crazy, I get found not guilty. What's gonna happen is I hired you to be a bodyguard, my G. You knew I was an active gangbanger when I asked you to be my bodyguard. You knew that. You know I was an active gangbanger. Now, if you feel that I owe you something, okay, we can have that conversation. But at the same time, though, you got to stand on that. You
Man,
knew
when you
I was
look at what that man
I
gave
was an
up,
active
when
gangbanger when
when
you
you look
decided
at
to come
what that
around.
man gave up, that man was training for the Olympics. He was training for the Olympics. He gave up his whole
Snoop
dreams.
almost gave up his freedom. Snoop
He gave
almost
up
gave
his
up his
whole
freedom.
dreams. Snoop the one out there shooting. I mean, the man got shot with the
I don't
same
know
bullet
that.
that he got shot with the same bullet that Snoop was having. The man just pretty much lied and said that he put 38 bullets in a nine gun. He lied for Snoop, and Snoop became this mega superstar, and he never got a thank you. Here go a couple $100,000. Here goes something. Yeah, you gave up your chance to go to the
For,
Olympics.
for
You know what
what?
I'm saying?
But
You sacrificed your life for me. Thank you, man. I
for
appreciate it.
what? No,
You know what I
no.
mean? Like that's
You
all I'm really
chose to
saying.
jump in street business.
If
You
I'm
chose to
interviewing
jump in
Snoop, I'm
street business.
asking him that. Like, hey man, is it true you never talked to that bodyguard again that was in that case with you? I'm asking him that. Not about what
But
about the
you
people they
chose
didn't
to
like you
jump in
performing
street
at Donald Trump?
business.
Like, come on, man.
If you want to be a bodyguard for an active Crip in the 90s, you are choosing to jump in street business. That's it. Like you have to stand on whatever comes with that. People don't. That's any bodyguards. All these bodyguards that want to ring bells for Puff Daddy too. When y'all chose to be a bodyguard for Puff Daddy, you chose to step in that ring. You didn't have to take that job. You didn't have to take that job. You could have been a bodyguard for somebody else. You chose to be a bodyguard for Puff. Now when stuff's going down, y'all ringing bells. This is wrong and that was wrong. It wasn't wrong when you was getting a paycheck. It wasn't wrong then. It's wrong now. You know what I'm saying? So it's
I
like
mean, like I said, I hear what you're
you
saying, man. But like I
gotta
said, it's more
stand on it.
pressing. If you sitting up asking Snoop about what people think about him performing for Donald Trump, I think that's a low ball question. It's like
It
something
ain't
that
that low,
it's just
brother.
that's a low ball question, man. And it's
I think
really, I
I
mean,
think
it
it's a
is.
low ball question because nothing him performing and him not performing doesn't change the fact that Donald Trump is the president of the United States. And what
Y'all know
kind of
what
question
presidents
is it?
have done y'all know what presidents have done to black communities in this country,
Well,
and
that's
I know
not the
that y'all.
question. That he didn't
I know
ask him
y'all
that
gonna switch
question.
to
He didn't ask him that
only
question.
one. Only certain groups of presidents did things, but these other guys, they
But he
never did
didn't
nothing
ask him
wrong.
that question though,
But
Leroy. He didn't
but
ask him about what
but
they've done. He's asked him
Snoop,
about a performance.
If you look into the history of America, then you will see why we feel away. That's
But that's
all,
not the
Snoop.
question he
That's
asked.
all. You
I
said
mean,
you don't know, Snoop.
another question
Snoop,
for
you
Snoop should
said
be
you don't know. You not well
another
versed on
question for
it.
Snoop should
That's
honestly
you.
be Snoop. You only got one album on Death Row. You only got one album on Death Row. Why did you want to buy Death Row when you left Death Row and you had Doggy Style Records? I think
Snoop,
that's a
because
legit. I
Death
think
Row
that's a
is
legit
built off
question.
Snoop's back.
Snoop got
Death
one.
Row is
He
built.
got two albums. He's got
Death,
The Chronic with Dre and he's got Doggy Style.
Death Row is built off Snoop's back.
Dogfather was on death row too, right?
No, Dogfather was on Doggy Style Records.
The sound of the West Coast. Whose back is that built off? The Snoop Dogg's back. So that includes Death Row. That anybody who was trying to be G Funk, who's that came out of Snoop Dogg's family's. Snoop, Warren G, Nate Dogg. That is Snoop sauce. So the entire West Coast owes that to Snoop, and that's why I'm talking about Snoop with love, and I know that's gonna get misconstrued because people go, well, he must be shooting at Snoop Dogg. It's actually love, but he deserves to take that back from Death Row because again, Suge is the one that wants smoke with Snoop. Suge, you've been wanting smoke with Snoop for 20 years. You ain't never go to this man and say, well, let's work it out then. Well, if you feel I owe you something, let's work that out then. Well, let me get out of your way and not hate on you or not say nothing about you. Let me just congratulate you on the work that you've done and salute the work that you've done. You've never said that. So if you want smoke with Snoop, he's giving you the smoke that you want. Now, me, I implied a certain thing based on just the political tension. Whenever we have two sides, the tension goes up. I think we should look at that because that means there's an energy of hate there, where if there wasn't, it would be love. When we talk about
I'm
the
just saying,
president,
bro.
it should be a frequency of
All
love
of
there.
these Suge
It
Knight
ain't.
interviews, all of these Suge Knight interviews, Suge saying this, Suge saying that, he coming with receipts. You know, the bodyguard speaking on that. I mean, Suge asking a lot of good questions. You know what I mean? And for people,
Suge, you a known
for
gangster.
for
You a known gangster. So we treat you like a gangster. because that's what you say you are, bro. What are we talking about? You ain't never said I'm the man of peace and all that. Like you was a gangster, my G. That's what you did. That's how we treat you. I know, it was super must have cut off, but I don't know, man. I get it, and it's real. Again, it's no real beef like that because really the positive work that Snoop has done, we have to salute that. So I will salute that first because that outweighs whatever little performance that lasted 30 minutes versus the 30 years and the 20 years of football work he has done, the dues he has paid. Again, Snoop is paying real reparations to us. So and as far as his football league goes and him looking after the young in his community, so I respect that. And this is why it's really just love. And that's the angle that this is coming from is damn, bro, you done did all this for your people, but your man don't come out here. If that's your man, bring him with you. That's who you rocking with. Bring him outside. That's all.
All
If
right.
you the bridge builder, bring him with you so we can see him. Because I don't see him building no. I ain't seen this man not one time come out and say, "Oh, we need to get this where black folks live. We need to put money there." I ain't never seen him do that. That's
Well,
your man.
well. On that note, we're gonna get up out of here. We had a long show tonight. Lord Vachai with the super chat says, "Super tells the truth." Yeah, that he does. Anyway, hit like and subscribe.
I wasn't there. I don't know who pulled the trigger.
Uh, I want everybody to do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, leave a comment. We're trying to get to a certain space, 100,000. We want a nice plaque and we want to do our festival.
Like,
So any like, any comment, any subscription goes a very long way. We appreciate you. Could be anywhere in the world tonight, but you chose to rock with us, the Weekend Rhyme.
appreciate it.
Check us out on Rhymes and Reasons on Thursdays. Check us out on Mic Check on Mondays. Leroy, final words for the night, sir.
Final words, we gonna keep it lit, man. But hit the likes, hit the subscribe, and all that because it gets to a point to where we gonna do what it do anyway. But it gets to a point to where it's like, who's gonna show you some actual work? Who's doing the work? There's been signs of us doing work that goes beyond just potting. You know what I mean? So it's like, who's gonna really do the work to kind of push a ball forward? You know what I mean? In this culture, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm interested in that. If you are interested in that, then support and you could check on that. Well, what have you done? What y'all got going on? You could just ask directly and we'll give you an answer. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we want to see some work get done, and again, that's why I will applaud Snoop because if we ask Snoop what work have you done, I believe Snoop is gonna have a long list of work that he has done for the culture and for the people. So I always respect that. It could never be no real issue. I'm just bringing up the tension that is in the air politically. That's all. You know what I mean?
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Well, anyway, hit like and subscribe. Be sure to check us out on Monday, Thursday, and any day we might pop up. And let us know what movies you want us to review so we can do a hip hop Rotten Tomatoes thing. It's always been a pleasure. Shout out to Super Duper. Shout out to Servant. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to you guys. We appreciate you. Hit like and subscribe. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Peace. Mm-hmm.